I cannot hear him snoring, but I could turn, maybe it's my volume.
All right. Well, sorry if anyone can hear him snoring. He's loud.
How old is Phil as of today?
He is 5 weeks old. Hey, someone said I have a nice voice. Usually I get comments that my voice is horrible. Thank you. Ilya, I think that was. Hi. Why'd you
All right,
go
guys, this is
backstage?
this is my wife, Laura. I'm still here. I just want to make sure that you're spotlighted. I don't know if you can still see me or not, but they cannot see me necessarily. I want to make sure that they're able to see you primarily so that when we do some screen share and privy, all of that kind of stuff is set up properly. And everybody can see the full screen when you do a screen share. Now, here's the background of my wife and I, everybody. My wife and I have been doing real estate my wife has been doing real estate since the day I met her. 16 years ago, my wife and I met. She DM'd me on Facebook 15 years ago. We went on a date and we've been together ever since. Okay. She DM'd me on Facebook. She said, you're hot. Shout out to me being the 25-year-old me was apparently hot. So that was 15 years ago. We went on a date that night. I picked her up from her parents' house. She was 21,
22.
22 years old, and she had Asher. Asher was a 1-year-old boy at the time. I picked her up. We went to dinner. I had a white pizza at Kona Grill. And I told this woman, I said, one day I'm going to die of a heart attack from working so hard. And if you ever try to stop me from working hard, we're going to have a problem. That was in my first date. Okay. And this woman said, good. I grew up in an entrepreneur's household. I expect men to work hard. I expect men to be away from the house. I expect you to go and make the things happen. I want to be a great support mechanism for you. Here are the things that are important to me. I expect you to be loyal. I expect you to be monogamous. I expect you to be a man of your word. I expect you to show up. These are the things I want. Literally, this was our first conversation we ever had. Okay. And my wife at the time was just finishing up real estate school. And while I was a contractor, my wife was learning short sale negotiation. She had to go and do cash for keys. This woman that you're looking at right now at age 22, 24, 26, she was going and knocking on people's homes in when the whole entire world had fallen apart from 2009, 2010, 2011. And she went and knocked on doors and was evicting people and doing short sale negotiations and saving people from losing their homes and doing all of that stuff by herself, by the way, by her freaking self. Now, I was not in real estate. I did not get into real estate for years after. And I was a contractor. And I was like, oh, yeah, she does this real estate stuff. Okay, cool. And then one day I had an opportunity to get into real estate and I was trying to do it all on my own because I didn't want to bother her. And I kind of wanted to figure it out on my own because I'm an idiot. And what happened was my wife saw how many contracts I was signing. And she's like, dude, you are a mess. Where is your paperwork? What's going on with your transactions? How can I help you? And that is when I learned what a transaction coordinator was. And my wife took me from doing 3 contracts a month by myself to 10 contracts a month with her. And so for about 4 years, my wife and I did about 10 to 15 contracts every single month until I started scaling and Cody Barton, my partner at the time, and I got together. But my wife continued to be my transaction coordinator. She's done hundreds of Subto transactions. She's talked to hundreds of our tenants. My wife is way better at comping. I'm going to tell you right now, I might even make some people feel weird about this. I have not met a better person at comping real estate than my wife. Okay. Now, let me tell you something else about my wife. My wife, I actually have an entire avatar about her. Okay. For some of you people in here that don't know what an avatar is, there are 25 ways to start in real estate, 25 ways to start in real estate. And if you don't know, Joseph Long says Joseph and Laura battle. It wouldn't be much of a battle. It would be Jamil just clapping and saying, congratulations, you've won. Okay. Just so you know. And look, I don't know anybody better than Jamil than Laura. Jamil is like the best of the best, but my wife is the best. Why? Because my wife, listen to this, my wife understood my business. She understood what I was doing as a fix and flipper. And so for a long time, I didn't realize it. Most people didn't know this, but my wife actually is 2 avatar, actually three avatars. Okay. My wife is a unicorn agent. So she works with real estate investors. She understands creative finance at a high level. My wife is a transaction coordinator. So she understands the paperwork and the process. Imagine what my wife knows about real estate. And then thirdly, my wife is really good at bird dogging deals, really good at bird dogging deals. So there was a couple of years where my business partner and I, Cody Barton, we were flipping a lot of houses. And what we decided one day was we need to get some like other deals. Okay. We need to get some other deals other than just our own. And I'm talking about like direct to seller, right? We were doing a lot of direct to seller. So Laura went out and started building relationships with other wholesalers, and she would go out and comp their properties. She'd help them fix their problems. She'd go, "Oh, you're off on your numbers, but Pace would buy it at this number." And I would pay my wife 20% of all the deals that we would buy. So we'd go and make 50 grand on a flip. My wife would make 10 grand for just finding the deal. So if you are sitting here going, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to flip houses. Okay. I don't want to wholesale because there's too many moving parts there. I don't want to be a transaction coordinator. I don't want to, buy and hold. I just want to bird dog and bring other people opportunities." That's what my wife did. Okay. So there's a bird dog component to a lot of this stuff. And what does bird dog mean? It means going and finding the opportunities for one buyer. Okay. One buyer. I am the hunter. She is the gatherer. She would go and find those birds for me and retrieve them. She was my golden retriever. And so my wife, of course, now we have 4 children, so things have changed. She still helps out with a lot of things in my business. But now my wife mostly just kind of oversees a lot of stuff and works with Molly and works with Jade and works with some of the other girls that now run everything. So she is incredible at comping properties. So today we're going to talk about her process of comping properties, and we're going to jump into privy. I can now hear, I just heard Phil. Was that him or you?
That was him. I don't breathe
Okay.
like that. That's really funny.
I don't know. When I sleep next to you, sometimes you'll snore just a little bit.
I was going to say, I only breathe like that when we're doing some things, but not sleeping and not just sitting here.
Do I snore? Be honest with me. Do I really snore?
Yeah. He takes after his dad for sure.
Don't tell people I snore when I don't snore. Tell people the
No,
truth.
you snore when you are laying on your back.
Okay.
So then whenever you start snoring, I'm just like, hey, go ahead, roll
She
over.
pushes me over.
Yes. And then it's fine.
So here we go. You want to get into privy? Do you have access to privy on my computer? By the way, you're on my computer right now. So can
Yeah.
you get access to privy?
Yeah, I'm logged into my privy. Should I be logged into your privy?
No, be logged in your privy because you obviously know it better than I do. So,
Is that fine?
yep.
Okay, cool. All right.
Does anybody know what my avatar is? Does anybody know what my primary avatar is? Because I probably have 20. Buyer. At one point, I was direct to seller visionary for a long, long time. My number one avatar right now is buyer. I'm just a buyer. Yes, we do capital raise, but number one, I capital raise so I can buy, right? So number one thing I do is buy. I buy. I'm the buyer. So, sweetheart, how do you want? I don't want to interrupt you because sometimes I'll Kanye West people because I want to move things forward. How
Yeah,
do you
I'm
want
ready to go. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you.
I'm going to step back. I'm just going to be in the background. I try not to talk. What I want you to try and do is remember, we've got about 2,000 people in here right now.
Yes.
And we'll have 10,000 plus people watch this over the next week or so as they get out of work and get to the weekend and they watch the replay.
Yes.
Let's pretend. We don't need to pretend because how many people are like brand new? You've never comped a property. Give my wife a yes in the side comments.
Beautiful. Well, that's who I'll direct this to.
Please.
This is the elephant challenge after all. So
it is the elephant challenge after all. So please remember, guys, we had a guy came in here yesterday and was like, I already know this stuff. Well, good. Be a leader to the baby elephants. Guys, we are here for the baby elephants. We want to change your guys' life. We had one of my students in Columbus, Ohio. I was hanging out there doing a meetup the other day. And I was standing in line and he came through to take a photo with me. He goes, hey, can I tell you something that you probably don't want to hear? I go, yeah, like what could I fix? He goes, no, I just want to tell you, I actually am not a fan of you. I'm actually more of a fan of Laura.
no, he didn't.
Yeah, I did. I sent you the video.
Oh, I do have that video.
So I go, can you please tell me this again? And I want to record this and send it to my wife because I don't think she gets the credit she deserves. So I record the video and goes, "Hey Laura, I just want to let you know, because of the videos in the Subto community, the training you did in the private community, I made $70,000 because of what you taught, and you changed my life."
Yeah,
So
that was crazy
my
because I've heard that from being around people like you, where you hear people come and tell you that, or I hear somebody come and tell somebody like Jamil that. I'm like, wow, that must feel really nice. And then you kind of teach things and put stuff out there, and you're like, well, I don't know if anyone's going to watch this or going to care about it or use it. Applying it is like, and then actually making money is super cool.
It is
So,
powerful to be able to say that something that you know and something that you articulated to somebody else compelled them to take action to go make $70,000 and change their life is just absolutely the greatest gift the universe could give you. So today, let's give that same gift to some newbies. And guys, are we okay going slow? Are we okay taking an hour on this? Are we okay taking our time? And my wife doesn't have to be here and just like trying to entertain and be a circus person like I am always all the time. Can we all just be patient and go, hey, let's go slow. Let's pretend like everybody in here is brand new. Let's love on everybody. Okay. Now, here's a couple of things. I want you guys to know something. Tonight, we're going to be putting everybody on teams. Okay. We are putting people on teams that are privy clients. Okay. Why? Because the people that are leading the challenge do not want people who are not taking action. Sorry. It is sorry. I'm sorry. Make sure that you have privy. Make sure that privy has put you underneath our code. Why? Because here's what happens. Benson will give us our customer list. Carly will email you all the teams. Okay. Tonight. That is what's going to happen tonight. Make sure you guys know you are underneath Pace's code. How do we know we are under Pace's code? Email support@privy.pro. I'm going to say that a second time. Support@privy.pro and say, hey, please make sure I'm underneath Pace's thing. Why? We're going to send out an email to all of Pace's clients today to make sure you guys get put on teams. Pace, how would you know if we have Privy? Patty, did I not just tell you? Patty, it's not support@privy.com. It's support@privy.pro. Okay. So the way I know you have Privy is that Benson gives me our customer list. Pretty simple, right? If you don't have Privy, you can still do the challenge. You can still hang out and you can consume and you can take notes and you can learn and you can ask questions. This challenge is free to everybody. If you want to be put on a team and you want to have a little bit more team atmosphere, we want to make sure we have action takers. The best thing to do is if we're all going and saying, all right, guys, we're going to do a digging hole party. Everybody bring your shovels, and 7 people show up to the digging hole party and they don't have shovels. It's like, bro, what are you doing here? Oh, I just came here to watch. What? Okay, well, go over there and watch. We're all going to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? So you need the tool to join the team. Perfectly fine if you don't have the tool. If you don't have the tool, then make sure you just chill for the next couple of days. Okay. So start with privy.com. Make sure you use the code PACE. If you forgot to use the code yesterday, you're not on our customer list for me. Benson has hundreds of other clients, other people like Jamil or Max Maxwell or Jerry Norton. Make sure you're on the PACE list so we can send you an email dedicated. Carly will get it and we'll make sure we send you an email. Does everybody understand that? Start with privy.com and then use code PACE. I'm going to say that again, and then we can move on. Start with privy.com. Start with privy.com. Eric Valdez says, I have batch leads already. Eric, we talked about that yesterday. You must have missed. Okay. Start with privy.com. Use code PACE. If you have Privy and you're like, oh, dang, I didn't use code PACE, then email support@privy.pro, P-R-O, not .com, .pro, and say, please make sure I'm underneath Pace's stuff so I can be on the list. Okay. Can we say yes? Have I said it 7 times? I usually find that when I say it the 7th time is when it finally clicks for everybody. Okay. Very cool. All right, Laura, you are in charge. I'm going to shut the heck up and pull myself off the screen. I am here. I am hanging out. I just won't be talking over you like I usually do.
all right. Okay. So I know that we had homework to find a market, and I think everyone had homework to save 10 houses. So hopefully everyone's done that. and I will show you guys how to comp. And
now, Laura, just so you know, the ultimate goal of why we're comping is I also am going to have Jade come in here today, my current transaction coordinator. She'll be in here in about an hour, and she's going to show us how to fill out the purchase sale agreement and the assignment contract. So everybody has the paperwork. Okay.
awesome.
And that means, why are we going to do that? But well, because we need to teach people how to send out a maximum allowable offer, or what their wholesale, what they should be offering at. And so
Okay.
hopefully we can get to a point where people feel comfortable going, okay, I know where I should be buying that deal to feel comfortable and get myself in a 10-day inspection period.
Love it. I did hear you on your Instagram that a couple of people have already sent out offers. So
Yep.
people are
they didn't just send out
excited.
offers. We had like 12 contracts already from yesterday.
Oh, they actually got accepted. That's crazy. I love that. Okay. Yeah, I love that action takers. That is true. I mean, when he's talking about you have to have privy in order to do this and be on a team because you don't want people just watching. That's so true. One of the best things that someone did to me was like, hey, here's a list, call it. It wasn't like, here's a list, here's training, here, let's role play, here, let me give you a script. I got so much better at doing it just by doing it rather than, waiting. So yeah, action takers only. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen really quick and I'm going to go in to Privy. So I'm going to zoom out just a smidge so that you guys can see. Sorry, I made this way too big. Can you guys see that pretty good? Yes, cool. Okay, so as Benson probably told you, because he's really good at this, when you're picking your market, you want to be in an area that has a lot of blue bubbles. That means that there's deals going on here. So, when you're looking at Phoenix, it's like, wow, 4,800 right here in this Scottsdale, Phoenix, Tempe area. That's crazy. So you know that there's stuff happening right here. And so it's a good place to start. So I'm just going to go into South Scottsdale, which is like kind of everyone's favorite place to fix and flip. Seems like, you can do some kind of fun things in there, spend a little bit of money, but you're not, spending over $1 million to buy something. So I'm going to go into my little list real quick. Hold on one second. Pace, you are like a genius with this whole, like how you set things up with your Zoom, because I'm like, oh my gosh, when people like the chat and then when people are saying things in there, it's crazy. So anyways, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay,
I've done it a couple times,
I know. People are like, oh, so-and-so raised their hand or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even pay attention. Is Privy crashing again? Oh, there you go. I was like, oh no, because Carly brought it up yesterday, but she was saying that we crashed it yesterday again. So I'm just going to randomly pick one. This one's already been remodeled. This one's super cute. Let me go to my little list real quick. So I am going to look at some active properties. Let me see. How about sort this way? All right, we got a little cute tiny guy. Let's do something a little bit bigger. There we go. So this property is active and it showed up as a potential deal. And this is one of the things that I was going to start seeing, as this is geared towards newbies, and Pace might be annoyed that I'm doing this. I wanted to actually talk to him about it before this started. But one of the things that I used to do in Elephant Challenges is I would go through my comping strategy, which has 20 steps and a little subset of exceptions to those rules and when you would use them. And it would take me an hour. On top of that, recently, with having another baby, I've taken a few courses of other people's and watch videos where I'm trying to learn, in this instance, how to give birth, pain-free and naturally and all of that good stuff. And I found myself looking at these people and being like, just tell me just enough that I can get through this. I don't have the attention span or the time to do your 20 steps plus your subset of exceptions to your rules. It just help me out here. I've got 2 little kids. I've got a lot of other stuff doing to go. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching are the same. So I don't even want to complicate this too much, because what's interesting about Privy and what Benson has created that is so unique is that he's wrote an algorithm within the Privy software to comp things for you. So like this house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. It's 1565 square feet. It looks like it's like a little duplex. Wouldn't you say that, Pace?
Yes.
Like it has a common wall. It's
Yep.
not horrible condition. It's clean. That's so funny. Look how many refrigerators they stuck in there.
I wonder if that's like you think that's maybe like a co-living space or something right now. Why would they have all those unless it's like a fix and flipper that's like just using that as a storage facility, basically. Why would they have all those refrigerators?
I don't know. That is interesting. That
It could
actually
be
would
like
make a
a
little bit more
religious thing where
sense.
sometimes like Jewish people will keep their milk separate from like the meat and stuff like that, where
Oh
like
yeah,
the, that kind of stuff.
could be. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here. Like, why is there one of those house phones that we don't see anymore? What's up with this room? Who knows? Who knows why they did this? But like that old floor, and some of this, like they've got like a blue closet, an orange, whatever. It could use a little something something, but how much, we're gonna find out. So they've got it listed for 520, $332 a square foot. Crazy, wild. So what Benson did for everyone is he gave you an easy button, and this is your easy button to comp a property. So if you go to comparables, it takes this like sold data and puts it in something to where you can actually just look at it, which is insane. So why are you pulling up rentals for me? That's not what I want. I must have it set on rentals. So
It's actually since we did this last elephant challenge, he added rental comps in here. So that was
mhm.
a new thing for me, just FYI.
Okay, well, I need to edit this a little bit. So, one of the things that's my number one rule is you want to kind of stay in the same neighborhood is where you want to start. And then you only want to go out like 1 square mile, and you don't want to cross a major highway like this. You don't want to cross any major roads or water or anything like that, because you're not getting the same, like for like. And the easiest way to get the same like for like, you don't want to compare a house that's built in 2010 to something that was built in 1950, even if it's the same square footage and the same bedrooms and bathrooms. So the easiest way to do that without making your life super hard is to look inside the neighborhood. So I do not want to change my little guy right there. How do I change this away from, I don't want
What
rentals.
take
That
a
is so
take a minute
crazy.
take a minute and figure that out for a second. But
Okay,
let me chat for a second with everybody.
sure.
Um, so everybody, couple things. How many people today is your first day you've showed up to the elephant challenge, not knowing that yesterday did part of the challenge 5.5 hours? How many people missed the 5.5 hours yesterday that we did? Okay. So here's what we did yesterday while Laura's working on that. We went through when he chose our markets. We made sure that people had their company name set up. We talked about the importance of working with real estate agents. We talked about how to work with real estate agents, all of that kind of stuff. We did it for 5.5 hours. We went from 3 o'clock Arizona time until 8:30 Arizona time. So 5.5 hours. So some people are jumping into a moving train, and that's perfectly fine. You can get a lot of value. But here's a suggestion I would make to you. If you come into a challenge on day 2, because you just found out about it, you've been busy, life is hard, busy, busy, busy. I get it. I would just not ask any questions for like an hour or two until you kind of get the rhythm and the motion. Do you know what I'm saying? What happens a lot of times, people will jump in and they'll go, why are we using Privy? It's like, oh, so you just said you missed yesterday's 5.5 hours of the free training, and now we're here on a second day. Do us all a favor, do yourself a favor and go, I'm just going to hang out and I'm going to catch up to speed. I'm going to sit here for 30 or 40 minutes until I kind of see the rhythm. It's a lot like jumping rope. Okay. You don't jump in immediately and start jumping. You wait until you see the rhythm and the speed, right? And then you jump in. And so just hang out with us. All right. Just hang out with us, guys. All right. And all the questions that pop up in the side chat, they're actually really helpful. But every once in a while, there's one that I'm like, oh man, that just makes me want to diverge over there and, start talking about this tangent that I think this one, I have a hard time leaving anybody behind. Can anybody like feel me on that? Like I have a hard time leaving people behind. So the best thing to do is if you came in a day late, either A, just watch the live today and chill in chill mode, okay? Or B, go back and watch the training from yesterday in 2x speed and you can get it done in 2 hours and 45 minutes. And then you can catch up to speed here. And then tomorrow we'll be back, okay? Everybody will be back here again for 3, maybe even 4 hours tomorrow, okay?
All right.
Also, what's funny is I do answer these questions really clearly. I don't know what's going on your side of the world. I can imagine some people like Samin, where is she? Samin, I said, hey, Jade's going to come in here and she's going to walk us through the paperwork and we're going to give you a purchase and sell agreement and we're going to give you an assignment agreement. And then like 30 seconds later, Samin says, where do we get the contracts? And I'm like, oh, that makes me feel like I'm an idiot and I'm not communicating properly. I can only imagine that there's something going on your guys' side where you just kind of miss it, right? And that's perfectly fine. She's like, you cut out. Sure, I did. Did everybody else hear me say that Jade's going to be coming in here walking through the purchase and sale agreement and the assignment agreement? Did everybody hear that? Okay, cool. So make sure you're taking notes, you're tracking all that kind of stuff. We will be giving you a purchase and sell agreement today. Jade, my transaction coordinator, who does all my Gator loans, she does now all my Subto transactions. She works underneath Molly. Some people are going to say, where's Molly? Molly's now the boss. She's been upgraded. She's freaking killing it. So Jade reports to Molly. And so Jade's going to come in here today and she's going to walk through paperwork and contracts. And she's been in real estate for years and years and years. So the first thing we're going to do right now is we are going to show you how to comp properties. Laura, have you figured out how to put it back on the right setting?
Yeah. I don't know
Okay.
why it was like that. Anyways.
Okay,
but
cool. So Laura's back, everybody. And
this is really funny. This is one of the last, the same area, same property type as one of the last deals we did with Voldemort. I don't know if you remember. Does this like give you some flashbacks? Do you remember flipping a house that looked like this?
I remember the house, way North Phoenix. Is this way North Phoenix?
No, it's still in Scottsdale, but it's like
That
this.
is
It
the
must be the
exact
same.
floor plan of one of the last 2 or 3 houses I got stiffed on.
Yeah, I was just like, this will be funny. Not funny, I guess. This is like traumatizing, I should say. But this house is, it's pretty cute. The one that you fixed and flipped you did such a better job than this. This could use a little updating. But again, we're going to comp this to see what it would need and what price we should be at. So again, just click on comparables. There you go. Like these are all sold properties, which is crazy. So we're going to want to find.
When you're, Laura, when you're in
Yes.
the MLS, for example, because I'll get real estate agents that ask me, why not, if you're a real estate agent, which you are, and you have been for 15 years, why wouldn't you just use the MLS? Is it easier or more challenging to comp with Privy than the MLS?
Oh my gosh. Well, I hear you say this all the time and I laugh because part of me as a real estate agent, I get like my little pricks up, in my back because I feel like, I know stuff, I paid my dues and stuff, but one of the things that you say all the time is they don't teach you how to comp in real estate school, and they don't. I know people who have been a realtor for 6 years who come and when I was in our real estate office every single day, they would come up to me and be like, how are you comping? And like, what are you using? And so when you're looking in MLS, there's all sorts of rules and you have to essentially create this little box, these bedrooms, bathrooms type of thing for yourself when Privy just does it for you. So I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like habit, like as a habit thing, I might just go back into MLS because why not? However, Privy pulls MLS data. And so it's like, if I just want something really quick, because I can't comp on my phone, I can't even really comp that well on an iPad. If I'm out and about and someone's like, hey, what do you think this house is worth? Or a wholesaler sends me a deal and I need to really quick decide if it's something that I actually want to look at, I could log into Privy and click this comparables button and essentially have the algorithm already set up to tell me what I should be looking at as potential houses for this, which is crazy.
Yeah. Couple of things. Laura, can you unshare for just a second? I want to talk about why we comp for just a moment. Really great
Oh,
question.
yeah, sure.
I think some new people in here might need to hear this. Why do we comp? Okay. And what is the MLS? The MLS is a software that I don't have access to, except I use my wife's login. So if you are a real estate agent, you have the MLS. You pay for it every year. Okay. The cost to be a real estate agent every year is about $3,000, depending on what state you're in. And part of that cost gives them this super fancy dancy software that is not as good as Privy, personally. Okay. It's more challenging to comp. The way the buttons are all set out, it's all very antiquated and annoying. When I go into the MLS, I'm like, what the freak is going on here? I feel like
And
I'm
I'm like,
inside of
don't push the back button, please. You'll ruin everything. Like you can't even push the back button in MLS.
So they spend $3,000 a year for this software that Privy gives better. It's a better software. Okay. Now, why do we comp? There's so many reasons why we comp, but of course we're going to comp because we want to see what the potential value of that property is if it's fixed up. I want to see that. So that's number one. Number one reason why we comp is I want to know the potential value, right? The ARV, potential value. Potential value means I'm going to put money into it and make it earn its potential, right? I'm going to value add. I'm going to add value. The second reason why we're going to comp is if I know where the potential value of that property is, then I can also start looking at what I think it would take to renovate that property. That's the second reason we comp is now I can look at other comps, comparables, comparable properties, properties that other people fix and flipped. And I can go, ooh, they spent a lot of money or they didn't spend any money. And you can start comparing apples to apples. Okay. That's comparing. So number one, I want to know its full potential value for a recent sold property. Two, I want to know what I think I should be spending in renovations compared to other people. I'm not going to, now we have done this. We've done stupid stuff. Like we've gone and overspent on renovations because you get emotionally attached to it. But when you overspend on renovations versus what the neighbor sold for, you're just wasting money, right? No appraiser is going to give you more money for over improving a property. So that's a second reason why you comp a property is to get what you think the renovation costs are going to be. We can talk about that a little bit later today. The third reason, and actually the whole thing we're trying to get to, the third reason is that we want to know what our offer is in order for us to either fix and flip that property or wholesale that property. Okay, that's the third reason why we comp. And the fourth reason we comp, okay, the fourth reason we comp is if I'm going to be a lender or I'm going to be involved in the deal financially, don't you think I want to know how to underwrite and comp properties before I deploy capital into those deals? Give me a yes or a no. Okay. So did I give you 4 reasons why we comp, guys? So I know this is more challenging than what you probably want to hear. We're not just trying to come up with the potential value. We're coming up with potential value while we're looking at the photos. So when Laura's going through and talking about the photos and the refrigerators, you guys are like, get to the comping, get to the comping, get to the comping. She is doing the comping. Do you now understand why she would go through the before and after photos, everybody? She's coming up with what other people were spending money on. You have to see that stuff. It is part of the process. Okay. Now, then the third thing again, what is our offer going to be, which is going to help us when we're submitting offers tomorrow? The fourth thing is if I'm a Gator or I'm somebody participating in this in some regard, I want to know what this deal is going to yield us if I deploy capital into this deal. Okay. Everybody understand? Give me a yes if you understand all the things that she's going to go through right now are not just we're coming up with a value of the property. Okay. We're coming up with a lot more than that. And you got to understand those 4 things. So as you're going through, you're like, okay, cool. I want to know those 4 things. Potential value. What do I think the renovation is going to be? Okay, what should my offer be in order for me to wholesale it or fix and flip it? We'll get to all these things. Right now, we're doing what I call building the runway. An airplane can't take off unless there's a long runway. And right now, we're just laying down the tarmac, laying down the tarmac, laying down the tarmac. And you guys are sitting in there in the airport going, why is the airplane not taking off yet? We're laying the foundation. We're laying the tarmac so that we can take off. Okay. How to know renovate amount of property is out of state? So Mike Torville, remember where I just said we're going to get to like renovation costs a little bit later? We'll get to it, my friends. We spent 5.5 hours on here yesterday. We'll spend a lot of time today. Let's just hang out. All right. Sound good?
All right, let's keep going. So I'm going to go back to this. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be super rude, but this house is so ugly on the outside. And I remember when this house, what a version of this house, almost exact same floor plan was listed. We got a lot of people who didn't want to look at it because it's so ugly and closed off on the front. So it's got like this super imposing garage, and then you've got the entire house covered by a retaining wall. And then you have like a little gate to get into it. Let me show you. So you go in here and then you can get in. So it's introvert's paradise, I guess. Like, don't come up to my door. Screen is black. Is my screen black?
It's not black. Okay. You always get somebody has an Android that they're driving down the road and they're getting off
Okay.
of a gas station to go to Buc-ee's and they're eating their cheese curds and a beef stick and they press some button weirdly. It's like the one person that can't see it is like, my screen is black.
All right, cool. All right. So because I know how ugly this property is, I am going to look at like what the comps are looking like on the side for me, just because I'm curious. It's like this 715 house. Yeah, it's got the garage up front and kind of has like a little lead up to the front door and whatnot, but that's way more attractive of a house than what we're dealing with. And we're already listed at 565. So I do care what they look like. I really do. Now down here, you can see a couple of things. So you can see what's sold, what's under contract. So they're under contract and pending are essentially the same thing. I'm not going to get into what those are because I don't want to confuse everyone too much, but essentially treat these as they're the same thing. And it's good to know what's under contract and what's pending in a market like this that's changing, because you don't want to miss some sort of trend, you know, like this one on Edgemont. Wow, such a cute house. Look at that sucker, 665. Like I can tell you, right, look at those that's a paver driveway. They've got a cute little like close off, like that's got to
Ooh,
be
that's
turf.
cute.
That's so
That's
cute.
cute.
And that's 665 and ours is 565. So you can
As
see,
is.
yeah. So there's a reason why it's still up and active, and it doesn't mean that like, hey, let's completely disregard this. You just have to make a lower offer than 565. But let's figure out, you know, what it could comp at when it's done. Let's look at some other under contract stuff. See, we're talking like 625, 674, and oh, this one's listed
Go
for
to that
700.
625 one. I think that's a closer model match anyway.
Yeah, 625 is definitely a closer model match. And let's see what it looks like inside.
Guys, what does model match mean? It means I'm comparing a Honda Civic 1999 to a Honda Civic 1999 with just different colors.
Yeah,
I'm not comparing a Honda Civic 1999 to a 2023 Ford F-150. Does that make
yeah,
sense? So the model of the house with the pavers and the cute grass, that was like a Ferrari comparing it to a Pinto. So, and I'm
yeah,
not talking about the construction. I'm talking about the layout of the house and the floor plan and all that kind of stuff, the elevation of the front of the house, all that kind of stuff.
yeah. So one of the things that I do notice about this house right off the bat is it has a pool. So that's going to change our value, but it is very similar to our subject house. It has that weird little inner courtyard thing, which is so weird. To each
So
their own, you know?
here's how I think, guys. I'm going to tell you how I comp. Okay, I'm so basic,
Sure.
right? Watch
Let's
how I
go
comp.
ultra basic.
I've already done it in all my head. I don't even use software. I'm way different than everybody else. I'm an idiot. My wife is way smarter than me. Okay. This is why I need my wife. I look at the 625 and I go, okay, so that's my possible value, right? Like kind of. And I go, well, my house doesn't have a pool, so I'm going to take 10, 15 grand off of the 625 and go, okay, well, that 625 house that has a pool that we're looking at right now, if it didn't have a pool, it would probably sell for 610 based on the pending. And okay, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna even be really conservative. I'm just gonna say $600,000 because I think the floor plan of this house is a little bit more desirable than the floor plan that we're looking at. I'm just gonna kind of ballpark it. That's what I do. Okay. Then what we do is we go back to my house, go back to our house that we were looking at, sweetheart.
You got it.
Okay. All right. So I know I've got to paint it. It's got to get a little bit of landscape love, a little bit of color, paint the front door. I hate the brown roof, but it is what it is. Okay, cool. This is fine. I don't have to spend a lot of money, but I think let's go
Let
to
me
the
show you the
kitchen. And
kitchen. Yeah.
yeah, the kitchen in the other house, the 565 is just a much nicer kitchen. This is kind of like ho hum 1999.
Yeah.
I think that um I hate the cabinets. They're really low.
Yeah.
I don't like that there's no can lights in this property. These are painted cabinets. These are like original cabinets painted. You got carpet in the bedrooms, little mini fans. I think I'm going to spend probably 45 grand to make this as nice as the other house.
Maybe more. I mean, look how cute this little kitchen is. Like they did a
Look at
lot
the
to the
grass. Look at the
landscaping to make
grass.
this super nice, and they staged it, which is going to increase your cost. And then look at the even the kitchen. The kitchen actually is really similar. Um but they put like they left the stove microwave the same as our subject house, but they put like a full slab of the quartz for the backsplash.
Casey Carlson says, how much do you spend on staging? We rarely stage properties. We think staging is kind of
I do think
knucklehead
it's
stuff.
dumb as heck, unless you're like selling $1 million house.
Yeah, and you're either selling $1 million house or the market is really, really slow. But I think even at that point,
Jamil
I
and Rahima are big fans, and I cannot tell you how much behind the scenes goes on of like the stager pulled the furniture, and we have people over, we have an open house, and the bring everything back, but I need the staging furniture for a wedding, and how much it's so stupid. It's
yeah,
so dumb,
yeah,
you know? So, and I think virtual staging is stupid too. Sorry.
yeah.
Whenever I see a house virtually staged on MLS, I'm like, oh my gosh, just don't. But yeah, look at how nice this is. They've got that accent wall. The shower's super nice. That actually looks like a Rahima shower. That's so funny. Let me look at our primary bedroom in our subject
Dang, are
house
you
real
kidding me?
quick.
That shower's dope. Okay, we're not spending 45 grand. Like this thing,
Yeah.
we're probably spending 80 grand on this.
Yeah. This whole bathroom needs to be torn
Oh my
out.
gosh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna
That
spend a
brown is
lot of
gross.
money. So if we were to be conservative and think that once it's fixed up, we could sell it for 600, and you're already gonna spend, what'd you say, 100 grand, do you think?
I said 80. Here's the difference, okay? Unshare your screen for just a second.
You got it.
Here's the difference, guys. If I'm doing the work myself, like some fix and flippers do, I'm not going to be racist, but I'm going to tell you what really happens. There's a lot of Hispanic buyers that just straight up get the dudes on their street that they are already plumbers, they're already electricians, they're all homies, they all live in a blue collar neighborhood, and they go, hey, let's go in on a flip together. A lot of our guys, that's what they do. They go do flips on the side. They're an $80,000 renovation for them is like $42,000 renovation. You don't want to know why? Because they're buying the materials and they're doing all the labor for free and they're partnering on the flip. Okay, that's how a lot of people get their renovation costs way down. And instead of going out and motorcycling on the weekends and camping on the weekends and shooting guns on the weekends, they're using their weekends to go flip houses. And it's like a crew of dudes. Okay, this happens so many times. So when you get a Hispanic buyer that's really resourceful, these are the guys that are going to buy at a higher dollar amount because they don't need to put as much money into the renovation. Does that make sense? Give me a yes or a no. Okay. Now,
But
the
it also
challenge with
doesn't
this,
make sense for people who aren't contractors Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. because you and I have done something like that where we're like, you are a contractor and you do know how to, do all the trades. But you and I have gone into some of our flips and like, oh, we'll go do the demo. How much time did we waste?
3 days.
These guys that you're talking about, they're not wasting time.
Yeah. And you want something done, get a Hispanic dude on it, straight up. Okay. Sorry, not sorry. Just it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So the first flip that Laura and I did was actually Plata Avenue, and I did a lot of the work myself. That flip should have been probably 14 days, and it took me 45 days because I did all myself. Time is money, guys. And what was funny about this, it was my first flip. I had been a contractor for years and years. And here's what ended up happening. Um, I am about to go list the property and I'm cleaning the windows myself like an idiot. Okay. I'm cleaning the windows myself. And a cleaning girl would have done it for like 250 bucks, like literally the whole house. But I'm like, pride of ownership, blah, blah, blah. So this is what I do. I go, dang, you know what? These windows could really use some blinds. And so I go down to Home Depot, I get the blinds, I do the thing, I spend 2 days installing these things and da da da. And then as I'm installing the blinds, I look at the backyard and I go, damn, that backyard is so drab. And
Need some
what and
sod.
so I go and spend $3,000 on sod. You remember this?
Yep.
I'm done with the
And
flip.
me and you are so excited. We were like going and getting like Del Taco and eating on the tile floor. We're taking our son Asher at 6:30 and
I
seeing
mean,
what got done for the day.
there's value in that, right? Like if you're using it as a way to connect with your family, there's value in that. But I'm like,
But
you
it
know, I
also
look,
made us emotional about the house,
yeah, it made us
where we shouldn't have
emotional.
been.
And here's what ends up happening. So I look at the windows. I go, they need blinds. I go get the blinds. I'm hanging the blinds. I'm looking through the backyard. Oh, dang, I need sod. Okay, so spend 3 grand. That takes another week for somebody to come and do this thing. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. We're about to list the property. And Laura gets a call from one of her friends. He goes, hey, I'll buy that house sight unseen at this price, like $3,000 over what we were going to list it for.
Now he's
And
doing acquisitions for Invitation Homes. So it went to
so
Invitation
Laura
Homes.
calls me. Laura calls me and she goes, hey, we got an offer on the house and we haven't even listed it. And the guy, blah, blah, blah. I go, is he going to see the property? She goes, no, he wants to buy it sight unseen. And I go, what about my blinds? And what about my sod? Like he
I
doesn't want to
know.
go see the blinds and the sod. Like I put
They moved a
so
tenant in
dumb.
there, and guess what died? The sod.
So
Waited
dumb.
there, didn't give a crap. And
It
he
was
also
it was
didn't care. I remember the offer that he gave to us. I was just like, okay, sure. You don't want to go see our cute little patio set and our little succulent that we put on the porch?
no,
Are you sure?
no.
Looks so cute.
When you're comping this again, when you're comping properties, you're looking at what other people did in order to get the desired result. And so you don't want to over improve. We over improve the property. That house, like best paint job ever, the best colors ever. You walk into that neighborhood still now 10 years later and you look at the house, you're like, first off, the thing that really pisses me off about the house, I made 19 grand on the flip. I was so ecstatic about the 19 grand. If we would have held on to that house instead of selling it, we would have made $300,000 on that same house. Right. So like there's just different games. There's just different strokes and different things in this game is that you have to
Different
learn.
levels.
You have to learn how to do flips. You have to learn how to do these things to ultimately get into the buy and hold game where you make, honestly, that's where you get wealthy. Nobody gets wealthy on fix and flip and nobody gets wealthy on wholesale, but it gets you started, gets you understanding the terminologies, building the relationships. And so that's what we're doing here in the Elephant Challenge. So as we're going through this, right, I'm looking at this property that sold for 625. I immediately just go, all right, what do I have to do? That's how fast I comp. I'm not as technical. I go, all right, 625. That's what they are under contract for. Let's take the pool out. Okay, great. Now
Well,
what do
can
I
I
have to
be
do?
truthful with you? With Privy, you don't have to be technical because they did the technical aspect for it with how Privy's code was written. They've already done it. So we know this is a good comp. And now you can just look at it and say, oh, they have a pool, take 10 grand off. Okay, how much in
Okay.
reno would I have to do?
So so what I do is I go, okay, 625. I go to the other house. Let's pull that house back up.
Sure.
Shout out to my wife for being in here, pulling this up and being with us with this baby.
Do you want to look at the comp or do you want to look at our subject house?
Let's look at our subject house one more time, guys. Okay,
Sure.
let's everybody pay attention because I'm going to ask you guys what we think the renovation budget's going to be. Okay, somebody's got some man cave going on in there.
Oh my gosh, that
There's no backyard.
Someone was
Okay,
feeling
well,
real fancy about it. But to be fair, the comp house has a very narrow backyard just like that. They just threw in a little sliver pool, which is
okay, got it,
stupid
got it.
too.
Okay, so small backyard, got it. Guys, I'm just assessing things, looking at things that fence needs to be painted. I hate the rock. I hate the stuff. Now would I live here? Yeah, honestly, I would live here. I'm cool with this, but I'm just saying comparing it to the property that we just looked at. Okay, I'm just scanning really quickly, scanning really quickly, scanning really quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, got it. So this is the current listed property.
Yep, let's go to the comp.
Okay, let's go to the comp. Cute grass. Cute
I
little.
know. It,
The roof is a good color. Believe it or not, it actually matters. Cute little green door. I think that green door might be outdated already.
no,
I
it's
think that.
cute. I mean, especially us ladies love something like that. That cute little path to their little gate. You know what? I just because we've done this so long, this is something our guys would do. Just leave that crusty old doorbell.
Yep.
Just like, come on, change out your doorbell because you put really nice,
Yep.
sconces outside, but you didn't change your stupid doorbell. But look how cute they did. Like their little landscaping, even in this, is so cute. They
Okay,
did like
love it.
some new bougainvilleas and stuff like that. That's super, super cute.
I mean, let's look at all the main things like the shower, the
Yeah.
kitchen. They got new windows, new sliders, tall cabinets, new cabinets, not just painted tall cabinets. Ooh, they even did like a feature wall in the bedroom. That's good.
Yeah, in the primary bedroom. And then let's check out the primary bedroom's
Did a
bathroom.
great job.
So cute.
That's a cute shower.
Yeah, this one's even a super cute shower with the black Schluter. It looks really clean and sharp.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely not dumb. Like you can tell whoever did this is really smart because it's like they did. I know what this is. I've seen this. I know exactly what this mirror is. But then they like didn't really give a crap about this because it's so hard to find like the matching matte black and stuff, and your options are limited still to this day at Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yeah.
They did a really good job. There's no carpet in here. The backyard is super lush. Like that would actually be a super fun backyard to hang out in. And then they took that weird, sliver of a yard and there's a pool in there, which is stupid.
Okay.
Some
All
home
right.
inspector is
So,
going to hate that.
okay, guys, I think I have the number. Bob
Okay.
Lays says, how do we determine rental costs? I'm going to keep it really simple for you guys. You ever heard of this thing called your gut? You
That's
use your
so
gut.
hard for you to say because you're a contractor. So it's
Okay,
like,
I get it. I get it. Okay, I get it. But here,
I'm going to give
let's.
you a hard time for that. Your gut is that of a contractor,
Sameen
you
says
know?
it's not fair. She's absolutely right. But let's just. What do you guys think the renovation is? Give me. I think the renovation's 80 grand.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
my gosh, 40K, I wish.
No, it ain't 40. Guys, it's 2024. Like
Someone said their
$35,
gut is full of
$35 a square
gas.
feet is 20. That's like 2019 prices, guys. Okay. Like COVID hit. Did y'all already forget that people used to make you run around with a mask on your face? Did we already forget that? Do you guys not remember like all the prices went up? Okay. $80,000 is what I think the renovation is. I would tell my contractor my renovation 60, and then he would basically nitpick me to 80. Okay.
So someone asked what the maximum allowable offer was, and they said 510. And I almost wanted to reach through and get my
There's no
knuckle
way you make
sandwich
money.
because
There's
it's like,
no,
what about the money? What about the profit? Why are we all doing this? We want to make money. So it's if the house is worth 600 because this house is 625, it's got a more attractive exterior. It has a pool. It's going to be nicer than ours no matter what
do you
because
want,
ours.
hey, Carly, are you on here? Carly, can you come up here for a second? I think we have our maximum allowable offer calculator. Maybe we pull that out for a second. We talk about hard money costs. Carly, do we have an MAO calculator?
Yes, we do. I'll put it right there. And I also have Laura's comping rules if we can share later.
No, I think we just keep
Nope.
it simple. I want to call the agent on this deal real
Okay.
fast, and I want to have a
Here's the
conversation.
MAO calculator. I'll drop it in the chat. Do you want me to drop it in the chat or drop it to you?
Laura, let's see. Let's see if it's the one. Alex just threw it up there. Yeah, okay. I mean, we could use that.
There you go.
Do you ever use this calculator, sweetheart?
No, I have my own calculator, but I don't want to confuse anybody.
Everybody has their own calculator. It's silly. Why don't you pull
Actually,
it?
I saw somebody on Instagram sharing my calculator and they have like 1 million followers. And I'm like, how did you get my calculator?
Is it mine, the one that I made?
Yeah, it's ours. And I'm like, and he's like selling it. And I almost wanted to message him, but then I was like, you know what? No, we all have a Google sheet. You know, he changed a few
Don
things.
Cabert. I want to talk to Don Cabert. Unshare your screen for a second. Let's talk to Don Cabert. I want
You
to
got
tell,
it.
Don Cabert, how you doing, bro? Let's have a conversation.
Hi, I'm doing good, thank you. You
Did you
didn't like
use,
my answer, did
did
you?
you learn the 70% rule from YouTube?
Possibly, yes. 70% after paid for renovations.
So 70%, here's what you want to do. You want to take ARV. We're going to go through actually Laura's calculator, the one that we work on, and you're going to see how many more calculations there really are. People don't take into consideration a lot of things. If you're an actual fix and flipper, you're going to look at it differently than a wholesaler. Okay.
Right.
Wholesalers, when you listen to YouTube, okay, listen to me, everybody, pay attention to me. Okay. Please pay attention to me. I'm saying this a third time so that the people that missed this, I don't have to say it a second time. Please listen to me. The people that educate you on YouTube, remember, YouTube is for entertainment, not for education. They're not telling you the truth. They're trying to convince you wholesale is much easier than it really is. And so they say 70% of ARV minus repairs. Incorrect. I think that would say very few times that what they're trying to do is make it sound so simple. So you go out and you do the work. And I actually appreciate that. I appreciate that they're trying to simplify it for people, but very, very rarely is that the case. So let's walk through the calculator. Laura, let's pull yours up if you can pull it up, and let's go through and make an offer. Let's come up with what this offer should be. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then I'll call the agent. I'll build a relationship with this agent. Guys, the next thing we're going to show you is we're also going to show you, don't use 70% of ARV minus repairs. That is a bad model. And the people that teach you that are not actually fixing and flipping. They're just wholesaling. And they're the ones that get 90% of their contracts canceled. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's not use that old strategy.
When you were
What
saying why do you comp, I was like, the number one thing is to not cancel contracts and give everyone a bad name, you know?
How many contracts when you and I were doing our business for 4 years? Be honest. I don't think we've ever talked about this. How many contracts did I ever cancel that I went out and contracted?
Very few. And it usually was when someone didn't want to sell their house and we were like, okay, sure. It was the ones
guys,
that we let go.
I never went out and contracted people's homes based on some figure. Okay.
Right.
These are people's houses. They're really their situations. When you get out there in the field, gosh dang, I almost want to I want to give away a ride along right now and be like, guys, let's go out to an appointment. Let me have you meet these people, the Kathys, the Sues, the Toms, the people that are in these homes that are truly going through something significant. And when we just throw like a calculation at them and we just look like we think we're giving them a good number, it's not a good number, and we cancel on them, it gives wholesale a really bad name. Okay. Gives wholesale a really, really bad name. Leonard says, man, can you talk to my parents? I don't know. Is your mom pretty cool? Does she make good ginger snap cookies? Can she make me some good ginger snap cookies?
All right, I'm going to show you my calculator. This is my calculator. Some of you might have seen it on Instagram if you're being
this is the one we
fed
put in
that
sub
guy.
two. This is
Yeah,
one
I love this one. This one's so nice. So
you want to make it a little bit bigger, please?
Oh, sure. I can do that.
Like, I know it will only show a couple of lines at a time, but there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So this is our profit analysis sheet.
Hey, Carly, can you get a copy of this and let's give this to people? It's a lot more simple than this other one with like all this stuff I'm looking at. I go blind when I look at complicated things.
So, we're going to put our estimated, ARV. So what we think it will sell for once we're done with it. So that was 600,000.
So guys, do you remember what we realized? Why it's 600,000? We just looked at the 625 and we go, okay, our house doesn't have a pool. Let's reduce what the potential is. And so we start with that number. Does everybody remember that? Give me a yes. We all remember that? Okay. So you understand why she's putting $600,000 in the top of this sheet, correct? Okay. By the way, Laura, if you don't say these things 85 times and make everybody say yes along the way, then you're moving too fast.
Oh, sure. Wow. Now I sound like Armand. I love Armand. Okay. So all the inputs in this are just green. That's where you're going to want to put your little info in there. So,
okay. So let's talk about hold time. I think an $80,000 renovation is going to take 2 months. And I think we're going to put it back on the market. If I'm a fix and flipper, I'm going to put it back on the market. Now, guys, if I'm a wholesaler, why should I know how much a wholesale or a fix and flipper is making? Jason Romaine, good to see you, brother. If I'm a fix and flipper, if I'm a wholesaler, Why would I care what the fix and flipper is making? I'm going to tell you right now. If you are a wholesaler and you don't understand how your client, who is your fix and flipper, makes money, then you are an absolute horrible business owner. You want to make sure you understand that your client has the ability to make money on this deal that you're locking up. Correct? Give me a correct or a yes. If you are one of these dumb wholesalers, okay, that give this industry a bad name where you just go lock up contracts, you don't even know what your buyer's willing to pay. All right. What Laura and I are going to do is we're going to comp this property here in the next couple of minutes. I'm going to call the agent, and then I don't know how much longer I have Laura. I think Phil's doing okay. Is he going to need a boob sometime soon?
I already gave it to him.
Oh, okay.
No one noticed.
I think I'm going to need a boob sometime soon too. Just FYI.
When Monday was a baby, it seemed like every time I breastfed Monday, everyone was like, "Oh, look at her. She's feeding a baby too." And so I was sneaky to all of you.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
Okay. So what do you think? How long? You said this renovation is going to take 2 months.
I think it's 2 months, and then you're going to have
sell it.
another 2 months of escrow process. I think the property will sell relatively quickly, but I'd let's say 5 months to be safe. 5 months of holding.
You said 5? Okay. I put 4, so I'm going to update it to 5.
I mean, the market's slow right now.
It is slow. So this would be where we're going to put in our offer, and we can, mess with this a little bit because this is kind of something it's going to spit out if we're going to make money or not.
Let's put an offer in at 500. What some people said. Let's just say we're going to
Someone said 510, so I'm going to put in 510 because I'm going to show you guys how crazy that is. So closing costs. So when the fix and flipper has to purchase the home, they have to pay closing costs in order to buy it. So they're usually going to pay, about 1%. There you go. So we got that in there. And now repairs. Pace-year renovation was 80 grand, right?
80 G's.
Okay. Now, when you have a house, you have to pay for things like pool, landscaping, HOA, all that good stuff. So I just put 50 in here. That's a good one because there is no pool. But you can't just, while you're working on it for those 2 months, let the weeds get up to my eyeballs because you're going to get code violations from the city. You're going to get HOA fines. So you do have to maintain the property. And this is just one of those little intricate things that wholesalers just don't even think about because they're
wholesalers, I'm sorry, are so uneducated on this because they've never flipped a house and they don't know all the ancillary costs that come up. And so when a fix and flipper doesn't buy your deal, you're like, look at my spread. Look at I'm like, bro, it's not a charcuterie board. All right. Stop talking about your spread. I want to make money. Okay?
Yeah. Yep. So now this goes into holding costs. So that is going to spit out how much holding on to this property for 5 months is going to cost us in our loan. So very few fix and flippers are paying cash. And even if they have cash to fix and flip, that's a really unintelligent way to use their cash. So they're always getting private money. I have in here a freakishly good private money rate, which we do have private money at 10%, which is hard money,
the average
interest
is 12,
only.
The average is going to be 12%. Guys, by the way, everybody keeps asking about the link. It has not been shared yet. Okay. We've shared a different link to a more complicated MAO calculator. I don't like that calculator. This one's just way more simple. The one that Laura and I use. Okay. So we'll get that link in a little bit. If you give this link to people.
I'm not going to send you. This is mine. So I'm not going to send this one. I'm going to send a different. I have a copy of this one and I'll send it to you guys because always someone comes in here and they start typing in their own stuff.
They cannot help themselves. They just come in and delete all my shiz.
Yeah. So this is mine. So I'll give you a copy of this in just a second. Right, okay. Cool. So this is, we've got property taxes, homeowners insurance, monthly utilities, all of this stuff. Like you have to pay those for the 5 months that you own it. You can't turn off utilities the second you list the house. You can't have utilities off while your guys are working on it. How are they going to get water? How are they going to plug in their power tools? Like you have all these costs that are going on. And so 5 months of utilities is $750. So you got it right here. It's going to cost about $41,000 in holding costs to keep this property for 5 months, which I've had wholesalers sometimes tell me, hey, I've got this deal, or I'm going to sell it to you for $500,000 and you can list it for 650 and it only needs 50 grand of reno. And I'm like, it's not a deal for X, Y, and Z. And it's also not 50 grand in reno. It's this. And they're like, you're so selfish. Why you won't make 100 grand? And I'm like, what world are we making 100 grand? You can see really quickly how expensive things are for a fix and flipper that wholesalers just don't think about. So
yeah, I mean, they got
41,000
and just holding costs, $41,000.
and that's not their reno. That's not their renovation. That's not their construction cost. It's just to hold the property.
Then they got to sell it, which is where
now
you're
they
going
have to
right
sell
now.
it. So we went through like closing costs for buying the property, which is easy and cheap. But when you go to sell it, you have to hire a realtor, you have to pay a buyer's agent, you have to get photos done, and they have to pay closing costs to a title escrow company or a closing attorney as well. So there you go. Those real estate commissions will really get you. There's another 40 grand.
Some people are saying, what's a BINSR? Guys, BINSR is an acronym. Okay. BINSR is an acronym. It stands for Buyer's Inspection Notice, Seller's Response. It's a really stupid term that just says when your buyer wants to buy the house, they're going to ask the seller for repairs. And there's always repairs, 100% of the time. How many people in here have ever bought a brand new home from a brand new home subdivision and still had repairs you had to ask the seller for?
Oh, every time. That's why you have multiple walkthroughs, including
There you go.
what they call warranty check-ins once you've already moved in.
Okay, so you guys
even
see all
a
the
brand new
yeses in the
house is going to have a
comments?
list of stuff that needs to get fixed.
Okay, that's called a BINSR in Arizona. Okay, everywhere else it was like it's called. So you guys are forgetting this, right? Everybody's saying, "Oh, it was exhausting." James Buck says it was exhausting, right? Everybody's saying, "Oh my gosh, it was crazy, it was crazy, it was crazy." You guys forget that fix and flippers have to go through that every time they sell a house too?
Yeah, especially on a house that looks like, our
1972.
subject property, which is like just super, like these people haven't remodeled their bathroom in 25 years. Do you think that they've done everything, So
Yeah.
it's definitely there's gonna be some stuff. So if we put in an offer at 510, and this is with a wholesaler not making money for an assignment fee, you would lose $75,000.
Wow.
Like that's how off that offer price is. Like that's just so wrong. And the person probably got it because they were like, "Oh, Pace said that he can sell it for 600 and it's going to cost him 80 grand in repairs. He'll make 10 grand if he buys it at 510."
No.
So someone said, so their 450 is good. So let's put in 450.
I bet you'll still lose.
You're
40.
still losing 10 grand.
At 450, you're losing at 450, you're losing $11,000. So you'd have to buy this. Okay. You'd have to buy this at 400 for the flipper to make like $38,000.
Yeah, there you go. Now they're making a 10% return.
Okay, cool.
But that's not you making any money if you sell it to this end buyer.
So you would have to buy this for $380 to make $20,000 assignment fee.
So now you can see why this property is just sitting here. So what this listing agent is probably hoping for is that someone's going to be like, wow, I really love this brutal garage that's super ugly. And I love all this Spanish lace stucco and this weird mismatched rock. So Pace, you want to call this listing agent and see what the deal is with it, correct?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that Privy gives all that to you, which is incredible. So let me get the listing agent's info. So it's John Rowan. Rowan is Corbin's favorite cousin. And there's his mobile phone number right there, 623-281-7852. And there's the property address right here.
Okay.
I'm going to mute myself.
How many days has it been on the market?
I know it's in here. Days on market 4. They just put it up. It's a recent list. Everyone can hear mommy. I thought this microphone didn't do that.
Only
right.
when they're
I'm
really
gonna mute
loud.
myself while you talk to John, okay?
Okay. I didn't get his number. You get, oh, it's really small. Hold on a second.
623.
I got it. I got it. Somebody's the problem with this is that people are this is why I don't like making live calls to like my non-students, is because somebody's already calling this guy. Somebody's already texting this guy. Every time I call live, what happens is that people will call the agent and go, just so you know, Pace Morby's live on YouTube right now. And then I get a text or a call from this guy. He's like, dude, you're an asshole for putting me on freaking YouTube. Can you guys please not do that, please? I know you guys are like the free group, and I know
They
that
probably
like there's
already
a different.
did. I mean, how many people do you have in here? 2,000? Someone
Yeah,
did for
dude,
sure.
like
Look where
somebody's
he's
already
at.
done it.
He's at Mobe Road.
Oh,
Look at that.
whose momentum is it? What's his name?
That was Kyle's brokerage. He
Does
doesn't
Kyle
own it
sell it?
anymore, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just
Okay. How many days on market are they? I can't see.
4.
Oh, they're brand new. Okay. So guys, this is a brand new listing, which means I'm not going to try and get this deal, right? Remember what I talked about yesterday. The main goal of every time you're talking to an agent is you are not trying to close the deal. You're trying to just build a relationship with them. Okay. His name is John Rowan. Okay, cool.
Hello, this is John.
Hey, John, it's Pace. How you doing?
Hi, good.
Good, good. Hey, I'm looking at 87th Terrace. I think it's a newer listing for you.
Yes,
You guys getting a lot of activity on that thing?
it is. It's been busy. Yeah.
I bet, man. It's kind of a decent price point. Are you guys getting buy and holders or mostly retail buyers?
It's retail.
Got it. Okay. I'm a fix and flipper in the Valley. Also do a lot of buy and hold. We were in Atlanta for a long time, and now we're coming back into Arizona. So I'm trying to rebuild and kind of get my pipeline going for the Arizona market.
Yeah.
If this is probably geared more towards retail people. Do you have anything else that's maybe good for like a fix and flipper or a buy and hold investor?
I do get them often. So if you want to text over your info, I can certainly put you on my list and send over when I have them.
Love it. I'm also calling, I have somebody on my team also calling expired listings and looking for sellers that are doing seller finance, but we do get some of the I'm not an agent, so I'm not trying to relist the properties. I've got a couple of sellers who said they're willing and just wanting to relist. Are you trying to get more listings as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always looking.
Cool. I'd love to collaborate with you. What I'll do is my team, when we get some prospective listing appointments, I'll just send them over to you and introduce you to the seller if that sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. What I actually work with. How long you been in the area? Do you know Andrew, the home buyer?
I do. I know those boys really well.
Okay. So I'm the retail agent for them as well. So that's exactly what happens with them is
Laura,
we have
unshare
a
your
deal
screen.
and I basically I've been covering the west side, but they sent me out to Chandler and I got 7 listings out in Casa Grande. And so that's what happens. They go out and they call and then they try to do the wholesale. And if they can't, then you're right. A lot of people go, no, I really want, I want retail price.
They're primarily doing, they're doing direct mail, or what are they doing?
TV.
It's so crazy to me. So I was a home investor for a long time and we never really were like heavy on TV, but I look at the TV model. I'm like, they gotta be spending, like you're competing against Doug Hopkins and all these other guys. Like they gotta be spending a lot of money.
They do. And, but they're also hedge fund backed, it's a big company. They're in, like 6 states and, it's all that perceived local, kind of like Lerner and Rowe and all these attorneys, you think, oh, I'm going to get Lerner and Rowe.
Yeah. What's that other injury attorney, Rafi, he's just like everywhere.
Yeah, he's California. So all those guys are the same thing. It's just, guys just kind of hook up. Although Andrew is in the office, I do work with him, specifically. But bottom line is what we do is when I sign a deal, we just split it. So I just list it and sell it. I've been doing about 7 listings on average a week with them. I sold like one a week over the last probably 7 days. I've had one.
I love it.
One go pending.
So they're primarily doing wholesale and then just relisting immediately. So they're kind of doing like a novation or like a seller net listing type of thing, or are they closing on them and relisting it almost immediately?
They're closing, rehabbing, and selling.
Oh, dang, they're cranking.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying, so they take what they can do, but then they refer to me, up to probably 10 listings a week.
Oh my gosh. Are those listings already renovated, or are those listings just retail sellers are like, I don't want to sell it a low ball offer, just take the listing?
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, because there's a, hey, I want to sell it. I just, I don't want to interview a bunch of agents and then kind of like what you're talking about, you're calling. So he's got the ads going, he's calling, and then they send me over the scripts. They use a program that records the call. So they send over the call to me so I can actually hear what's going on. Mm. And then I just listen to it, and, you hear all the buzzword. People are like, yeah, no, I want to sell. I don't have an agent. Then boom, I'm on it. I call, we split the deal. Yes. And I think I'm probably generating more for them than they're flipping, because there's so many people that would rather just do it.
Just get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah. They want to sell at retail. They don't want to take a hit on wholesale.
Yeah.
And then here comes somebody in that goes, yeah, I can do both. I've got an agent that I work with that is great in the area. Do you want us to have him call you? And they're like, oh my God, sure.
How many of your listings are you running into where I could potentially just take over payments or do seller finance? You guys have some situations like that, like Maricopa. I'm seeing a ton of that right now.
Yeah, Maricopa. I do. It's out there. It's I can certainly flip everything over to you that I run into, but sometimes that comes after a listing and the listing doesn't work. Then they start getting more open to creativity.
You use me as your final ditch effort. Before you lose the listing, I will be your buyer on all your Subto deals, your seller finance deals. I'd love to be that guy for you.
Yeah, definitely. I could flip stuff over to you, and you have any listings, I'll just split the deal with you.
I don't even need that. You pay me, once you close it, you pay me $1,000 flat fee. I don't even, once you close it, I don't need 50-50. I don't want to do that. You take the money.
Okay. We'll do that too. That's great. Yeah. Just text me over your info, and I can get you everything that I run into, and anything that you guys have a potential list on, you want to forward over, just forward over my info.
You're the man. I appreciate it. I'll shoot you a text.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. See ya. This business is really hard.
Everyone was just saying how nice he was. And I'm like, yep, everyone who Kyle hires is nice. It was so funny. I wanted to be like, you should tell him that your wife used to work for Kyle.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
And he also just kind of told you his agreement with Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle tees him up a bunch of listings, and he wants 50-50 from you, which means that Kyle pays him less than 50%.
Yeah.
Kyle's a smart man. So
a couple things, guys. Here's the thing.
How you and I were talking when we were wholesaling that one of the best things you can do is like best use of property. And like, we should go after people who don't and like list them. And that's crazy. He's a smart man. So he's figured out that wholesale operation. Andrew, the home buyer. They're doing good things.
Here's the challenge, guys. This is why you don't see a lot of me making phone calls live. Why? Because I have people, I'm sad to say, that I can't trust with watching me make live calls, right? Because that's a relationship I want to build, but guess what's going to happen? I've never had a bad call in my life. Do you see how quickly I pivoted away from the house? What did I say before I made the call? I said, it's not about the house. It's about the relationship. You see how I used the house as an excuse to build the relationship? It wasn't even 20 seconds. Yeah. It wasn't even 20 seconds. Inside of Subto in our vault, I have 1,100 of those calls. inside of Sub2. So if you're a Sub2 student, go into the vault, watch me make those calls, expired listings, foreclosures. I have never had a bad call in my life because I can jump right into just building the relationship with that guy and give him and go, hey, what are you interested in this? And are you interested? Oh my gosh. Like,
Of course he's interested in more listings. You genius.
of course he is.
Yeah. You know
Right?
what? I will know if one of you guys called that guy or tells on us that this is on YouTube, because guess what? The owner of that whole entire operation is going to send me a message on Instagram and be like, what are you and Pace doing?
Okay, so guys, that's the first call we made. Okay.
That was a good call.
You see how simple that call is, by the way?
Yeah.
What did I do? The second let's talk about what it is. Ask the questions you know the answer to. There you go. Boom. So what did I say? I say, hey, I'm an investor. I told him straight up. Sometimes I fix and flip. Sometimes I buy and hold. Are you getting mostly retail clients? He says, yeah, mostly retail. So I knew
because you knew it.
immediately.
Yeah.
I knew immediately, hey, this is not an opportunity for an investor. So I immediately pivot to what question next? What was the next question I asked?
Do you run into any sellers that would be open to like an investor offer? And then he told you what you already know, because he's part of Mobro, that he already has a buyer like that, which is Andrew the home buyer, which is Kyle.
Yeah.
And then you asked him if he'd be interested in listings that you could send him, because ultimately, what did you want? If the house doesn't sell, or other listings that he gets like this don't sell, you want them on terms. You want a seller finance opportunity.
Well,
and you know what? I
there's a
believe you.
couple
You would
of,
give
like,
him listings. Like you
there's a
probably
couple
really
of
would.
really nuanced things that I do on the phone. Like there's very nuanced things I do on the phone. Did you guys pay attention to the part where I said I've been doing a lot of deals in Atlanta and now I'm
Yeah.
making my way back into the valley? Why would
I was
do
wondering
that?
why you said that. I was like, are you saying that
'Cause I'm
because other
effing
people in the
smart.
Elephant Challenge are going to be like, well, I'm making calls now in the Phoenix market, but I've been in the Dallas market. How do I switch? I thought you were saying that for them.
I mean, that's a part of it, but a big part of it is I don't want, as a newbie, for you to feel like you have to know everything about everything. And so the smart thing to do is just go, I'm easing back into this market. I'm rebuilding my pipeline. I'm just kind of trying to build relationships. And guys, most of what we buy is in Arizona. Okay. I can lie all day long. I lie all the time. Some of you God-fearing folks that are like, don't tell a lie. Come on, y'all. You know, you'd be lying to your husband, and your husband, you'd be lying to your wife about she told you not to eat Snickers anymore, and you're over there going to the gas station and sneaking them Snickers behind her back. I know you'd be lying over there doing all these white lies. Okay. I'm straight up lying, but I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just trying to set the tone for something that will benefit both of us. I don't want him to go, well, wait, why is he asking these questions? Why is he this, that, and the other? You want people to know why you don't know the answer to something. Right? It eliminates a lot of bull crap that you'll deal with when you're a brand new person. So you can say stuff like, hey, forgive me, I'm actually re-entering the market. We've been doing a ton of deals over in Nashville, but now we're re-entering this market and I'm rebuilding my pipeline.
Everyone's so concerned with you saying that you lie and that there's nothing wrong with it, and what I think in my head.
I lie.
I know who I'm married to. I don't care. He can
I
tell
lie.
his little white lies all he wants. I always say that he uses his power for good, not evil. So
I
go
lie
ahead.
all the time.
White lie away. I knew there was a reason why you were saying something about Atlanta. When you said that, I was like, maybe my face
Jackie
even
Jones
gave me
says,
away.
I won't lie. Lie.
Jackie got called out. You probably lied today. We don't. This is making us seem like we're like huge liars.
It's called setting the stage, right? It's setting the stage so that we can have a proper conversation. How long was I?
Or like half truths, you know, you're not gonna, you know, hurt someone's feelings. You might just tell a little white lie. It's a white lie. It doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah. And you know, here's the other thing too. I was watching this documentary last night with Laura. I was so interested in the documentary. It was about the guy that invented, it was great. The guy that invented Flaming Hot Cheetos, right?
Yeah.
I went and read all about it this morning, and half of what the movie talked about was not.
It was a lie.
It was a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
they're telling a story.
They're telling a story. They're setting the tone. They're trying to get you to walk away with this one truth, but in order for them to get them in a concise manner And to deliver this one truth to you that will inspire you to go take action, they had to set the stage in a very concise, shortened, and condensed version. Okay. And so sometimes when I'm on a really quick phone call, by the way, could you guys tell? There's a couple things that I want you guys to write down. Here's a script. Okay. Let me tell you a script. Here's something very important. Did I sound like I wanted to waste that guy's time today? Did I ask him if I could ask him a question like an asshole?
I hate that. Hey, can I ask you a question? Hey, John,
Dumbest
how's it going? Can I ask you a question? Like,
Hey, John, you got a
no.
couple of minutes? Hey, John, you got a couple of minutes? Hey, brother, I got a couple. Can I ask you a question, brother? Like you're a cartoon character? Come on, guys. Like nobody wants to hear that, right? They want to know that you want to get off the phone as fast as they want to get off the phone. And my goal is like, I want them to feel like I'm trying to get off the phone almost from the very get-go. Hey, John, I'm calling about your listing on such and such. How's the activity? Tell me about it. Guess what I didn't say? I did not tell him my name.
Well, you did say this is pace, but that could just be a force of habit.
And you know what I do always is I always say, hey, John, Pace here. I said, hey, John, it's Pace. How you doing?
Yeah.
First line. Hey, John, it's
You
Pace.
weren't
How you
like,
doing?
hey, this is Pace Morby calling from American Home Offers. Do you have a couple minutes of your time that we can just chat? You know? Already he checked out.
Don't do that. Nope. Do you guys ask yourself this question? Do you want to hear people say that to you?
Also, you didn't do the thing that I also hear people do when they cold call is they're like, hey, is this John Rowan with Momentum Brokers? Hey, John, this is Pace Morby with American Home. Like, that's so stupid. You were just like, hey, John, you assumed it was him. That's one of the most powerful things you can do. It's like cold calling anybody. Just say, hey, Ashley, what's up? You know, you just move on.
Yeah. Hey, John, what's up? How you doing? It's Pace. I'm calling about this property and blah, blah, blah. How's the activity? Shut the hell up. And you shut up. And you let him, oh, it's good. A lot of activity. Oh, that's great. Okay. So is it more, you think it's more for like a retail buyer? You think it's for a fix and flipper? Oh, I think it's more retail. Okay, great. Are you running into these other opportunities? Okay, great. Move on, and move it forward. And I'm cheerful and I'm all that kind of stuff. Don't call anybody in your life and say, can I ask you? And you know, what's funny. Hey, where is she? Let's see can I ask you? I'm going to tease her, but I love her. She's really great. And I'm going to tease her. If she's in here, she's going to get teased. Let's see if she's in here. I bet. Oh, she got so lucky. She's not in here right now. I saw her in here like 15 minutes ago. She might be taking care of a baby. So she sends me a text today.
Who is it?
It's
Who's she?
Kelly Humbarger.
Oh, I didn't
She sends
see
me a
Kelly in
text
here.
and she says, hey, can I ask you a question? And I said, you just did. She's like, you're right. Right. So just don't ask that question.
Or if you, that's like with one of the ways that made me get over that and really stick it in my head is when you told me, hey, when you're in a relationship with someone like a friend or your mom or your significant other, and they're like, hey, can we chat for a little bit? Can we talk later? It's like, what did I do wrong? Just freaking tell me. Like, let's get it over with. You like create a whole situation where everyone's like, what do you want? What does this person want? You know?
Right.
So like, don't do that. Can I ask you a question? Hey, can I have 5 minutes of your time? Just don't.
So here's what I'm going to do. Now, here's what I want you guys to learn. Okay. Is it easy to talk to an agent? Are they friendly? Do the ones that have listings actually pick up their phone? Most of the time they do. The ones when you're just blanket calling agents, like off of a list, like a lot of people teach, they just blast agents all the time. You're going to have a low likelihood of talking to somebody who's actually doing deals. Whereas Laura found active listings on Privy. That's why we use Privy. Pace, why do you use Privy? Because I want to show you active listings. If you use Zillow, what's the likelihood of the data being good information? Do you want to use Zillow, Laura?
I hate it. It's just, I mean, you look up any sort of real estate meme account and you scroll down, 5 rows, you're going to get a Zillow joke. Zillow is notoriously awful.
Okay, so we use Privy so we can find active agents. If you get a hold of an active agent, all the goal is, okay, did everybody get a little bit of a framework there? I'm calling about the house. I ask them, hey, how's the activity on the house? Hey, I'm a fix and flipper. I'm just entering the market, building my portfolio. Okay. Was that enough framework for everybody to have a call with an agent?
There's going to be so many people in here who are not saying yes, but they're thinking no. No, I want a script. Give me
No,
a
they don't want a script. Guys, did your husband, when he took you on your first date, did he have a script on his hand of like what to ask you? And then
Pull out
do
a little
you
piece of
want,
paper.
do you guys want a man taking you on a date and having to have a script? No. Do we all like know how to make friends? Do we all have friends in here? We all have friends, so we know how to communicate with people. Okay, cool. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to send him a voice memo. Okay. I'm going to reply to him and say, hey, great conversation. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to send you an offer on that house just because just because it's like standard operating procedure. It's going to be a complete lowball. Just want to let you know. That's it. I submitted an offer. Make sense? That's what we're going to be doing. The homework is for everybody tonight. What we're going to do is everybody's going to get on Teams. Okay. The homework for tonight is everybody's going to get on Teams, and I'm going to send him an offer on my paperwork. Okay. I'm going to send him an offer on my paperwork, and I'm going to show that to you guys with Jade. Okay. So
Jade's
I
in
will.
here. I saw her in here.
Okay. Okay, cool. Jade's in here. Do you have your offer paperwork for us? Yes, Jerry, you knucklehead who showed up late or did not pay attention the 7 times I said it. Jerry, you need a karate chop. Sammy, I'm not teaching you Subto and creative finance deals in the Elephant Challenge. This is for newbies, okay? Subto and seller finance is like the ninja strategy. You should learn that from my students, or you should join our community. That's where you learn that. Sammy's like, oh, my bad. No, you're good. Can we go over the comp calculator again, but with another example? I don't think you need that, Eddie, to be honest. I think you should be doing that with your teams, right? That's why we put this challenge together. I think you should be doing that with your teams, okay? Does that make sense? Now, how do I get on a team? How do I get on a team? What's going to happen is Carly's going to get a list from Privy tonight of all the Privy clients underneath the PACE category. So make sure you email Privy and say, hey, make sure that I'm on PACE's thing so I can be on his client list. She's going to send you a link with all the teams to join. And those teams will have a way for you to join them. Every person's a little bit different. We got Luciana, we got Dom and actually, we're going to bring some of them on here tomorrow, just so you guys know. Okay. We're going to bring some of them on here tomorrow. Corey Bassett. Okay. Yeah, it's okay that you signed up 4 days ago. Yeah. There's people that have had Privy for a year and a half, guys. Like everybody that's on the PACE client list gets those emails from a year and a half ago. We have clients that have been doing the Elephant Challenge with us for a year and a half. Okay. Yes, everybody, if you are not underneath the PACE client list, send them an email, inundate them and say, support@privy.pro. I need to be on PACE's client list. Okay.
It's so funny how much you have to say it, because I was I was like in my head this whole time you've been talking about like support@privy.pro, support@privy.pro, because I've heard you say it so much already just today, and I've never heard you say it before.
It's sad how many times I have to say stuff. And you wonder why sometimes I come home and I don't want to talk. And I just sit in my chair and I look like Pablo Escobar sitting in the bottom of his pool.
Oh, yeah. All depressed. That's so funny. Sometimes you do look like.
You're like, what happened? I'm like, I had to say the same thing 400 times.
Support@privy.pro.
In fact, I might change the name of this from the Elephant Challenge to the or the Straight Jacket Challenge, because sometimes it does make me go a little bit crazy. But that's where real progress is made. How many people in here feel like they've made massive progress in the last year and or last day and a half of being in here? Like, I understand terms I've never heard before. I've seen calls. This is super easy. Oh my gosh, I can do this. Wow, this is awesome. Okay,
Even
great.
what happened with January on Get Creative. She started being a TC because she was in the Elephant Challenge 10 months ago. Was that? Or is that a year ago? That's crazy.
Yeah. Janelle, let me talk to Janelle. People are like, you know what's funny is like, I never push anything. I never push anything. Janelle Martinez, let's have a conversation. I'm like the most anti-sales person of all time. We do a free challenge for a year and a half, and then somebody's like, you're pushing Privy extremely hard. Janelle, hi. You are unmuted, Janelle. You can talk. Janelle made a comment. She says, you are pressing Privy really hard. Okay. Why am I doing that? Do you want me to push my mentorship? Do you want me to push my mastermind? Do you want me to push other things? Or can I just like let you know that if you're going to show up to work on somebody's team, you should have a tool to show up with. Like when they tell you go work with agents and go bring leads to the table, would you want somebody on your team that did not have any tool? And then you're basically like, does that make any sense to anybody? If we're going to build teams and we're going to put people on those teams, does it make any sense that we're going to put people on there that are not interested in getting the tool to actually generate the leads?
Well, how would you even find a house?
Oh,
How would
you
you
could
put in
find it
an
on
offer?
Zillow.
No.
Well, I could sit there and just take notes.
What's the point? You're just wasting your time.
Guys, please, if you don't like being in a free challenge, go to YouTube. Okay, go to YouTube. All right, here we go. Laura,
Yes.
thank you for the help. Thank you for kind of walking through your process and the spreadsheet. Did we drop the new spreadsheet in here?
A couple of people who are in here, I must have shared it with them, but I'll get it over to everybody.
Carly, did we share the spreadsheet with everybody? Okay, Laura's calculator. Guys, Carly just dropped it in the side chat right there. That is actually the spreadsheet that Laura and I have been using for 10 years. Okay, it's simple.
Someone else is
it's
selling
easy.
it to you on Instagram. Don't buy it because it's right here.
Yeah, somebody, I think they sell it for like $35 or something like that. And we're giving it away for free, but we're just pitching. Is there a way to slow the chat down? Jody Little. Yeah, we could. Here's what I'll do. I'll pause the chat for everybody so we can put that. Carly, we put that. Okay, Alex got it in there. Carly's got it in there. Okay, give me an emoji if you guys got the link so I can reopen up the chat. Let's bring up Jade. Laura, stay up here with me for like 3 more minutes. Jade, come on up here, please. If she's available. Jade, what up? How you doing?
Hey, so good. How are you?
I'm so good. Where are you at right now?
I'm at my house.
Jade, what do you do for the team?
I am on the top tier TC team. And I also get to be your personal transaction coordinator with your partnership with Abraham for paceandabraham.com.
Okay. And
do you want me to keep going?
That's not the end of the hats.
That's the reason why I think you paused at the beginning, because you're like, wait, hold on. This is a very loaded question. I do all sorts of things. I organize all the meetings. I do this. I take the notes. I'm doing the training in here. I'm over here with the Gators. I'm on emails. I'm doing this. I'm solving problems. I'm doing TC work. Guys, Jade is an absolute amazing unicorn. She's new to our universe, and a lot of people see her a lot in Gator. She shows up in Gator. She is on Molly's team, and Jade is an absolute freaking rock star. Everybody on the team over the last couple of months, as Jade's joined the team, everybody's come and texted me like, thank goodness we have a Jade.
Their first interaction with you. Yeah. The first time they get to talk to you.
Give Jade some love. She's amazing. She's going to walk us through. Actually, I wonder if you've ever walked through this specific purchase and sell agreement, the one that we're going to go through.
I just pulled it up so that I could make sure that I knew what I was going to talk about.
Okay, so Jade, what for me and my purchases, what do you see? And I want you to not hold anything back. Just tell it exactly how it is. What would you say is the percentage of cash deals that Pace Morby does?
Probably
non-Gator related.
I want to say 40%.
I think it's 0. I don't remember
where you bring cash to the deal.
No. How many deals do I do that are like conventional financing deals?
No, none.
None. Okay. So we did, I don't know. We have a team of how many TCs do we have on our team?
6.
Okay. We have
Okay.
6 full-time girls on our team.
6 or 7.
The majority of what they do are Pace's transactions. Those are either Gator transactions, Subto, seller finance, maybe a lease option every once in a while. That's it.
Yep.
So most of the
Okay.
transactions that you're coordinator or you're doing coordination on is either a Gator transaction or a Subto transaction, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you and I are going to go through a cash wholesale contract right now.
Okay.
And we're going to give that away. And I can walk everybody through it, since this will actually, funny enough, I'm actually asking you to come on the team to walk through a contract that I don't think you've ever had to use.
No, because actually we get them every once in a while from other people
Yeah.
when we take on a Subto like paid student file, but not your stuff. No, never.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, let's pull it up. Do you have screen share capability or no?
Carly, my fancy friend in the back room, is going to help me with that.
Okay, I can give that to you. I'll make you co-host. There you go. You are co-host. We can make you. Hey, Laura, we love you. Thank you so much for being this beautiful wife of mine. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're amazing.
Guys, please give my wife a screenshot her, and then go DM her and tell her thank you. Hey, girls in the audience, do the girls in the audience appreciate how many amazing women run my entire ecosphere? Do you see
Yes.
any dudes doing anything in our world? Why is that?
You just have a great team of amazing people who want to make everything better.
They're all women for some reason.
Yeah, I can't answer the gender question there. I'd love to, but
Can I?
that would make this call take a whole different turn.
I will. Yeah, I will tell you guys the answer. Dudes are so messy, and I'll also tell you the reality. Okay, women, write this down. Men, okay, when you want to build a team, you don't want to build it with men. I'm very sorry. Here's why. Because men think about me, women think about we. And they care about each other. They care about the environment, the harmony, the culture. They care about doing it together. They don't want to take all the credit. They want to share the credit. They feel that abundance. Men are like, no, I did the thing and I did the thing. And that wasn't your idea. That was my idea. And then
show me what to do so I can leave and do it myself.
Yeah. And then
Just
men,
fine.
that is a very true thing about men. Okay. Men, be honest here. How many men are like, I would come and work for Pace just so I could learn what he does, so I could just go and do my own thing? How many men in here are like, yo, dude, can I please do that?
They'll move to Arizona in 2 seconds flat and go do the same thing.
Okay, so when y'all are building your real estate business, just remember, all men are just hoodlums coming in to just try and knife you in the back to steal everything from you. Women are like, let's build this together. I want to see how this goes, and I want to be a part of this in the future, and I want to own a part of this, and I want to go. Let's go. And it's all about championing each other. Anthony's like, I wouldn't just steal. It's like, well, I worked for you, so anyway. So we have a lot of women. Most of the people that run our company, we do have men. Obviously, we probably have a good, like on our media team, we probably have 40, 50% men. But most of the people that run the organizations, like from the executive level and like running the categories and running the divisions, are women. And you know, the other thing is, most of the women that work for us, I would say, most of them are women who are mothers. I don't know why. That wasn't like a category I selected, but they have a figure it out button. They have
that
oh
girls
my gosh.
just like you. Maybe it's that we like you.
I don't know. Maybe because I have 8 sisters, I know how to vibe with women a little bit more
You
than
do. You are
That's true.
you have a high emotional intelligence.
Yes, which
Do I
most
really?
men don't. So it does make it comfortable to be around you.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Those 8
So,
sisters helped you out.
Yep.
Also, my 8 sisters gave me a lot of trauma. So like now I have these new sisters of mine that like I get to work with, and I'm like, oh, this is how sisters are supposed to act. Like
Yes.
no drama. This is dope. So just FYI, women, shout out to all the women that are mothers out there. You have a figure it out button. You know what stress feels like. You know how to like figure out things that other people don't. Stress points, challenges, anxiety does not bother you anymore. You're like, dude, I've raised. How old is your youngest, Jade?
He's about to turn 20.
He's about to turn 20. So think about that. She has been through all the teenage years. She's been through all the things. There's not much that would ever really surprise Jade at this point. In fact, I've never seen you frustrated, angry, upset, surprised. You just, even when I'll send a voice memo, your reply is always like, rainbow and sunshines. Awesome. Let's go. I mean, she doesn't
Pretty
literally
much.
say that. By the way, the hair, look at Jade's hair, guys. What do you guys think about Jade's hair?
Beautiful.
We'll be fancy today.
Hey, someone just said you look 20, and that's true. You
Oh,
look
you're my
about as
favorite
old
human.
as your youngest child.
It's because her
Thank
youngest child she adopted him. He's no, she did raise him. And
I
I
won't
just
tell
want you
you
guys
how
to
old my
know.
oldest child is then.
How old?
Yeah, they're pretty close. He's only 22.
Oh, 22. Okay, cool. So remember that when you guys are building your business and you're wanting people that are like, have the figure it out button, the maturity of solving a lot of problems and think about running a household with multiple people that have multiple different schedules and multiple different desires and needs and all of these types of things. Being a mother running a household is so absolutely important when you're building a business. And how many people have done business with me and interface with Jade in here? I know she's newer to our ecosphere. How many people have done business with me and you've interfaced with Jade to some degree? Let's see. Jade is a pro. Yes. Okay. Loy Vo says me. Okay. John Joyner says I have. She's amazing. And so you want to be able to have people in your organization that are on your team, like a Jade, that as you scale, they can take care of your clients and make sure that you are represented properly. I think you represent the company better than I do, just personally,
Oh,
just letting
well,
you know.
thank you. That's very, very gracious of you. I'm loving all of the Gator members that I see in here. This is awesome. I love that they show up. I love
It's
that the
the best.
community show up and help and want to be part of growing something bigger and helping people make a better life. That's so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Laura, I love you. I'll see you later for dinner, probably. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So we're going to go through now. Carly, can we make sure we give people the copy of this contract real fast so we can make sure that as we're going through it, people can kind of go through and ask some questions about it? Let's make sure we give that away. Okay, there you guys go. So there's 2 contracts. Okay, we're going to go through today. We're going to go through a purchase and sell agreement. It does say wholesale contract, but it's a purchase and sell agreement. Okay.
Mhm.
And what we're going to do is, Jade, if I want to submit an offer to this agent that I just spoke to,
Mhm.
would you, as a transaction coordinator, would you put that in DocuSign right now as I'm talking to you and we fill it out?
Sure.
You want to try that?
Sure. Let me see if I can make that work.
Okay. So as you do that, I think it'd be fun to just submit the offer today.
Okay.
Or do you want to just edit it and then I'll just email it to this dude and now we've submitted the offer? Or what do you want to do?
Let's do it that way. Because I think
Okay, cool.
Carly can edit it as we're talking. We strictly don't let me touch buttons while I'm in here because I've already lost my screen a couple times and caused all sorts of havoc. So
Got it.
Carly is the man behind the curtain today, making
You're
all
not
the
allowed to
things happen.
touch buttons. Okay,
I'm not
got
allowed
it.
to touch buttons today.
Guys, give me an emoji if you've gotten the downloaded, if you've gotten the contract, you've clicked on it, it's worked, you got access to it. Give me an emoji, a heart, a thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. Come on, we got 1,700 people in here. Give me some emojis. I want to make sure we got it all.
Download it
Okay,
now.
very cool. All right, sweet. So let's go through it. Are you pretty good at this, or is Carly the one that's doing this right now?
Carly is doing this, but can we make it a little bit larger, Carly?
I love this. I love that Jade is not allowed to touch buttons. That doesn't sound normal. So there must be something weird going on. I love it.
Honestly, it's just like when I get in Zoom, I can either talk or I can touch buttons. But when I try and do both, I get a little scattered and I don't want to ruin anyone's experience in here.
I got it. I totally get that. I respect that. I understand it. One thing I've been doing so many Zooms for so long, I can do all the things at the same time. It took a couple of years though. Okay, cool.
I have massive goals to become like Pace someday and be able to do
you'll be
all
way
the things.
better. You'll be way better than me. I even have a coach right now. I'm like, it's time for me to even get better. I'm going to hire a coach. I went and hired a coach.
Nice.
And so my coaching starts next month. So
I love that. Okay.
Okay. So why should Carly, can you unmute yourself? We'd like to see you. I might ask you a couple of questions.
You want to hear me too?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay. I was hiding.
Carly, why are you telling us not to edit this and to go make a copy to edit it?
Well, you can't edit it. So this is a view only situation. And please pay attention to this because we're going to get this question 25 times. So if you go in there right now, you guys click those buttons, you guys aren't going to be able to edit it. Like, see how I can't like this? You can't do that. So you have to, it's a non-editable one. So I'm going to come here to where it says file, make a copy to edit. I'll come to file, make a copy. And then it's going to say, what do you want to call it? Where do you want to keep it? And you click make a copy, and then you can edit it on your own. So each time you use this for something, you're going to have to make a new copy each time.
I love
Capiche?
it. Okay, cool.
Capiche.
Okay, so Jade,
I love
here's
that.
what I want to do. I want to go through the contract quickly, and I'm
Yes.
going to talk to you as if you're my transaction coordinator, and I'm going to tell you what I want to do. Now, the property that we just had up, I don't have it up anymore because it was on Laura's screen. So I'll let you fill it out later. But what I want to do is I want to submit an offer today, my transaction coordinator. So I want to tell you what I would like to put on the contract, okay?
Okay.
So property address, you'll fill that out later.
Mhm.
APN, what the heck is an APN, Jade?
It's the parcel number. So you're looking for
what's a parcel number?
the parcel number is basically what indicates that you are buying a very specific piece of property and not the neighbor's property and not the house across the street. You're buying this specific property. And it
Okay.
is searchable to the public. You go to the county assessor's office for the county in which you're buying the property and search the property, and you'll find the APN number.
Okay, cool. All right, so property address, we got it. We go down to legal description, got it, property, blah, blah, blah. Okay, earnest money. My offer, just so you know, my offer is going to be $350,000 on this house.
Oh, that is a low ball. I love that.
Yeah, I got to
I thought
let
we
them
said
know.
340 was where you needed to be at.
Let's do 340. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You don't need to fill it out right now. We can.
Oh, you don't want me to fill it out?
You can as we
Okay.
go. You can as we go.
Okay.
Now, when I'm working with real estate agents, I know that the minimum amount of money. I love it. Gary Ralph is like, there's no way to download this or even make a copy. Have other people been able to make a copy of this? Give me a yes or a no. Okay. When somebody says yes, but I'm saying no, that means I am a knucklehead. Okay.
You didn't follow Carly's instructions close enough.
Or maybe, okay, maybe there's a lot of people in there. So just give it just a minute and maybe you're not a knucklehead. Maybe I'm a knucklehead for calling you a knucklehead. So
Maybe.
if I'm working with an agent, let's ask the question to my agents. I only want the agents to answer this question. Please, if you're not an agent, please do not answer this question. If I'm going to submit an offer to you, what is the minimum percentage I should be giving you as earnest money to show you that I'm a serious buyer? 3%. Some people are saying, I see a lot. I think minimum 1%, but I'm seeing a lot of 3%. Jade, as an agent, have you ever forced people to put 3% down as earnest money?
Standard is 1%.
Okay. So let's put our standard earnest money in at $3,400. Okay. By the way, wholesalers that are doing $500 contracts, F you, get out of the business. How many of my agents in here would do business with somebody who sends a $10 earnest money over or $500 earnest money? How many agents would just delete that offer immediately? Type in delete if you would just delete it. If you're one of the wholesalers that does a $10 earnest money, please leave. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You make this business horrible. Leave. You're not serious. You shouldn't be in here. You're a child. Leave.
Can I make a note real quick on this contract before you move forward?
Yes.
On the legal description, I actually always keep that as the legal description. Even though when you search that APN, it's going to give you a legal description. Do not copy and paste it. Just leave it and have it say to be provided. That way your title company can provide the correct legal description for you in case it's wrong on the website.
Okay. I love that. Cool. Guys, the reason why people use lowball earnest money is because they're not serious about being in the business. Again, Oh, Alethea says, when's the next bathroom break? Should we do a bathroom break right now?
Sure.
People are saying yes. Some people are saying, okay, guys, we'll do a 10-minute. Well, how about this? We'll do a 10-minute one. Right as we get the ball rolling, people go, I got to take a piss. I love it. Carly, you want to play a video for us and we'll hang out.
I got a video for you.
Okay.
Sweet.
Carly figured it out. How do you guys like that graphic of the little baby elephants?
That's amazing.
Isn't that kind of cute?
It is.
Okay, perfect. We have to watch an ad on your YouTube video of me. Oh my gosh, Carly. Carly, why not have YouTube Premium? Like, what the freak, bro? How have you not logged into our YouTube channel?
I love that you give her a hard time. This is awesome.
Well, I've known her
thought
for
I
a
was
long
the
time.
only
She's like
one,
my
Carly.
sister. I've known her for so long.
I know. That's why I love it. This
I
is
love
how
how
you
she's
make people
using a
comfortable,
free
just so you
YouTube.
know.
We have this like really big YouTube channel. We spend a lot of money on it, but she's using a free YouTube channel, a free YouTube stuff thing. I freaking love it, dude. Carly, do you sit there in your regular life and not have a $17 YouTube premium subscription?
I do.
What are you
In my
doing,
real
dude?
life, I need to go get one, apparently.
Gosh.
I love it.
Oh,
All right.
I love it.
Are you ready to watch the intermission video now?
Yeah, I'd love it. Well,
You're
and
ready.
I'll go on a little 5-minute break.
Okay.
All right, we're going on a break, guys. I'm going to go love on my daughters, maybe kiss on my son if he's not taking a nap. Hopefully you're getting a lot of value. Now, this is a great time for you to go to SquadUpSummit.com and get your ticket to the upcoming event in April. I actually paused the Elephant Challenge for a couple of months because I had a baby coming, and it was the #1 most requested thing that I come back and do again was the Elephant Challenge. So right now, we're going to give you guys some more testimonials of people that you need to see their face, people that you need to identify so you can chat with them and identify them in the side chat that you can link in, do deals with them, etc. People that have made money in the Elephant Challenge and what this Elephant Challenge means to them to come in and lead you guys, the baby elephant. So without further ado, let's watch some testimonials. And again, this might be a good time for you to go to SquadUpSummit.com and get that ticket to come and hang out with us April 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Hi, my name is Dylan Eggers. I am business partners with Angie, Dominic, and Joey Milanazzo, my Italian family. The Elephant Challenge was, I would say, instrumental in a huge portion of our business in 2023. Through the Elephant Challenge, we were able to close over 70 wholesale transactions. We purchased 6 homes, all through the power of joint ventures with baby elephants. So we host 2 Zooms a week. We just pour a ton of value into the students. Into the baby elephants, newer Subto students, newer creative finance students, and we were able to help dozens of people get their first deals closed into the finish line, and really help a ton of people transform their lives and show them the power of real estate, wholesaling, rental properties. We're excited to get the Elephant Challenge back again, and we're really looking forward to it.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Tyler. I am part of the Bash Bros. I'm also one of the elephant leaders, and I want to share with you guys something that will help you on your journey. By joining the Elephant Challenge, it's not going to guarantee you getting a deal. What it is going to do is guarantee that someone can help you, move you in the process of getting that first deal, because that's what a lot of people are looking for. You have leaders all over the country that can help you no matter what. It's just a matter of plugging in, staying consistent, and actually doing the work. That's what most people don't do, is they don't do the work. So I can promise you, if you sit and you actually do what is asked to be done, you will have the best chance of getting a deal. You will have no problem. And as long as you stay consistent, I guarantee more deals will come than you can absolutely imagine.
Hey guys, Joey Milanazzo here. Just wanted to let you know how the Elephant Challenge can boost you in your real estate journey. One of my baby elephants on the last challenge, he came in, right, not very well versed in real estate, didn't really even know how to make a phone call. And in his first month, I believe month and a half, he was able to get 3 properties under contract. They all closed and he got paid on all of them. And that was just his first month. After that, he actually joined our team as a lead manager and found himself on a team, and he's not in Subto, he's not in any courses, he hasn't paid anything, all free, and was able to close deals, get paid on it, and join a team to where now, only It's only up from here. So that's just a really good testimonial. And that's just one of our guys. I have many people who did the exact same thing on our team, like 5+, and it's only getting, the number's only growing. I actually have another guy, his name is Austin. He's a traveling nurse. So he didn't even know anything about real estate, like literally not even a single thing. What he did is he just came to our Zooms, watched me and my team make phone calls. And now, literally in his first like 2 weeks, now I'm not saying this is going to happen for you, but in his first 2 weeks, he got 4 properties under contract, and one is actually going to close in like the next 2 weeks. And they're all over the states. One in Colorado, 2 in Texas. And this is a guy who is a traveling nurse, right? Joined the Baby Elephant program, and now is about to close on 4 or 5+ deals. That's just the power of this community and taking action and joining this Baby Elephant Challenge.
All right. Hey, guys. My name is Matt Adesco. One of the baby elephants. Started following Pace a while back. Got into one of the first elephant challenges. Partnered up with Angie and Dominic, and they've been amazing. I never knew a community like this existed. It's super exciting. I'm in California. They're in Colorado. I flew out last month and met with them. Currently looking to get in my first deal, Subto deal on my primary residence. I'm really excited. I love the Elephant Challenge and, following Pace and just learning everything that I can. So, I'm excited to get out there and get that first deal done. And after this challenge is done, I can't wait to meet you all in person. I'm super excited what the future holds, and let's go get it.
My name is Jose De Leon. I joined Subto summer of 22. I've been in real estate since 2005. As a realtor, and I'm local to Orlando, Florida, in Central Florida. So I've done most of my business here. Learned creative that summer of 22 and kind of just really dug my heels in there. I really loved the Elephant Challenge because I got to help in a way where I felt I needed help when I first came in. It was very important for me to show others that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. For me, when I first started, there's just so much information. You don't know what to do. You want to learn everything, and it's just impossible. I tried it. It's impossible. You can't do it alone. So I was able to help quite a few people here in the Elephant Challenge find their first deal or learn how to do some creative structures on their own. One in specific that came to mind that I think everybody would love is someone researched their own hometown. They found a deal that they didn't really know if it was a deal or not. It was somebody that was possibly facing foreclosure. They had it listed. The agent wasn't able to sell it, and they knocked on their door and they said they could help. They wanted to help them, the seller. So the seller gave them the situation. They came back with that information and said, I want to buy this house, but I don't know what I have here. I don't know what to do, how to do it. I think there's a creative structure here. So they brought me all the information. I was able to JV with them, help them out with the structure, talk the seller through the situation. I showed them how to do the structure so the next time they're confronted with a situation like this, they could actually do it on their own. I was able to talk to the sellers and do the structure in a way that benefited really both sides, in a way where the buyer was happy, which was the Baby Elephant. They kept the deal. They came in, renovated the property, came in with about 70, 80 grand of equity they walked into. They paid me half of a JV fee, and I also did the transaction coordinating on it because I'm a top tier TC as well. So I was able to help them with documents and really A to Z all the way through. So it was really special for them to finally be closed, get a little bit of cash flow at the same time of renovating the property. So, and also the seller was super happy because they were in a situation that really they thought they were going to get foreclosed on. Like it was all lost hope. So it was super nice. Everybody was super happy and still happy to this day, because a lot of times you don't know what happens after a deal. And I always like to follow up and see how everybody's doing, things like that. So it was really nice to hear that. And again, thank you guys so much for joining. I can't wait to meet you. There's tons of opportunities here. Don't try and do this alone. Definitely partner up with any one of us, the Subto students in the community. We're more than willing to help out. There's tons of meetups locally. There's tons of meetups virtually where you can join. So definitely take a look at the chat, see who are the leaders in the group, and they'll be more than willing to lend a helping hand and really help you out with anything that you're not sure of. We'll be glad to help.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Carrie, and so glad you joined the Elephant Challenge. This is going to be well worth your time. Lots of resources, plenty of connections to be made. It's what you're going to get out of it is what you bring into it, or what you bring into it is really what you're going to get out of this Elephant Challenge. So if you are willing, if you are able, and you devote just a little bit of time every day and you're open to meeting new people virtually and then hopefully in person as well, you're going to be connected with the right people to help you make traction in your journey with real estate investing. Whichever way you're going to go, there are people connected in this challenge that are going to help you meet your goals. One of the great things about being part of the Elephant Challenge is I was able to connect with Herd of Profits. And through that and connecting in the Creative Finance Facebook page, I was able to reach out to a realtor in Colorado who actually was just getting started in the Elephant Challenge as well. And so she stepped in, she helped me in the best way that she could, but then she too was also connected. And that's how I got connected with Angie and Herd of Profits. And she's been phenomenal, and her whole team has been there backing me up the whole way, whether that's through talking to a realtor for me, helping them better understand what subject to and seller finance is and what it can mean for their sellers to help them close the deal and help them move on to their next chapter of life. And that's what we're working on right now. It's, you know, unfortunately, this deal isn't closing as quickly as I wanted to, but we're steady, we're strong, and we're persevering through this because we're trying to make it a win-win situation, a win for the seller so that they can move on to their next adventure in life, and then a win for us so that we can jump into residential assisted living and be able to help provide seniors a home where they can live out their life in a very productive and fun and meaningful way. And we're just very thankful that Angie and her team, Herd of Profits, have come alongside of us and educating us, growing us, but then also helping us try and close that deal.
What up, everybody? Welcome back. All right, here's what we're going to be doing, guys. We're going to be going through this contract. And I'm going to be talking to Jade as if she is my transaction coordinator, because guess what? She is. Amazing. Jade, I'm going to make sure I spotlight you. You are more special than I am. Carly.
Oh, boy.
You are in charge of the paperwork because Jade apparently has technical difficulties. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going and growing. All right, so we've got property address. We don't know what it is because it's on Laura's screen. No big deal. Close of escrow. I'm going to say close of escrow would be 45 days of contract, out from 45 days of contract. So what would that be? That is January 25th. Let's say March 15th. Let's just throw that in there. Give me 45 days for close of escrow.
Okay.
Why am I doing that? Well, I want to give my buyer enough time to get a loan, get some hard money lined up. Escrow agent. This is Arizona. So what we'll do is we'll use Fidelity Title. Let's just do Dina Jones. Type in Dina Jones. At Fidelity Title. I don't know their address, but we could pull that up a little bit later.
Figure that out later.
Cool. And then we'll put her email and phone number and all that kind of stuff in later. The seller, we'll put that in later as well because I don't have it up on the screen. Really, really simple. Does everybody see how easy it is to fill out a purchase contract and then like to submit an offer? You see how easy this actually is? People are
plug
like,
and play, guys. Plug and play.
Plug and play. Okay, we'll put the seller in there a little bit later. Buyer. Okay, put the buyer in there as Moving Forward Ventures.
LLC.
Ian Leonard says, how do we pick an escrow agent as a beginner? Tomorrow, I actually have, everybody write this down, please. Tomorrow, I have a nationwide title company coming in here tomorrow morning, or I'm sorry, tomorrow afternoon. We're going to talk about escrow and how to open escrow and all that stuff. We're going to do that tomorrow at 3. Carly, what time is Fidelity coming in here?
I'm still talking with her, and then we needed to
cool.
talk with you on when you want them in.
Okay, cool. So we have a nationwide title company. They're in all 50 states, and they love wholesale. They love double closes. They love Gators. They love creative finance. We are going to show you exactly. I'm not going to tell you how to title company. Is this your title company, Pace? I wish Fidelity was my title company. I would be a billionaire. Do you guys know, like for real, Fidelity is literally worth probably $100 billion, maybe more. Okay. So no, that's not mine. I would definitely not be doing a free challenge on a Thursday afternoon. I would be playing golf on, where would I be? I'd be playing at Augusta National, just so you know. Okay. Parties, Moving Forward Ventures. Okay. Seller, got it. Days.
Inspection is where we're at.
Give me 10-day inspection period. Business days. I want business 10 business days.
I love that you just said that because I was going to make a note here. You can put a number of days. You can also put a specific date. If
Love
you
it.
look at the days and you map it out and it ends on a Saturday, choose the Friday or the Monday and put a date or change the number of days so that it makes sense for where it falls on the calendar.
Okay, love it. So let's go down. Okay, buyer, I will pay all the closing costs. So you can click buyer will pay all the closing costs. Guys, that's kind of traditional in a cash transaction with real estate investors. Vic says, what about national title company? Do you want me to go through like every single title company and tell you why I do or don't use them? Or
No.
is it okay for me to just bring one title company to the table that I know can handle all 50 states? Yeah, national title. No, I
You were
said
saying that Fidelity handles their national title company.
yes.
You can work with them in any state. I think that's where the discrepancy.
Vic, come on, Vic. I was saying Fidelity will do national title work. That's what I'm saying, guy. Yes, they will also handle Subto, seller finance, lease options. Okay. All of that stuff. And they're not dumb. What if they want to pick a bad title company? Aaron, I don't understand the question because they are the title company, my guy.
Maybe he means the seller, but traditionally in most states, the buyer picks. There are states where the seller picks the title company, but I always suggest as the buyer, you should be picking the title company.
Yes. Okay, cool. We got that. All right. Okay, so let's go through this real quick. Purchase and sell the property, purchase prices in accordance with the terms. Okay, got it. Boring. Status of title, boring. Inspection and access to the property. This is very important for you guys as wholesalers. Okay, we buyer and buyer's sole discretion, okay, may through written notice to seller cancel this contract during the inspection period set forth in section 1.10. Okay, do you guys now see why these contracts are important? Is it gives you the ability to cancel the contract if you can't find a buyer. Does that make sense to everybody? It says it right there. I can cancel the contract for any reason under the sun. If I just am tired, I'm canceling the contract, Mr. Seller, because I'm hungry.
And you're going to get your EMD back if it's within the inspection period.
That is correct. And I will get my EMD back. It says it right there. And obtain a return of the earnest money and any other items or things of value given by the buyer to the seller. Boom. Lead-based paint disclosure. Boring. As is purchase, existing condition of close of escrow. Buyer is purchasing the property as is and in the condition existing. Boring. Escrow, COE, closing costs, and prorations. Boring. Next one is very important. Number 8, cure notice. Okay, cure notice is actually very important. If a party fails to comply or perform under this contract, and the other party shall deliver notice to the breaching party specifying the non-compliant. So basically what it says is if your seller starts ghosting you, your agent starts ghosting you, you can tell them, hey, you're in breach of contract. And it says in this contract, if they do not comply within 10 days after receipt of the cure, then failure to comply shall become a breach of this contract. That is, it tells you how a breach of contract works. Does that make sense? Kathy says, please drop the link for this. Please. We have done that. I think at least multiple times. I think. Thank you, Marlon. Appreciate that. Jimmy Sen says, can you explain that again, Pace? Yeah. So cure, right? If there's an ailment, we need a cure. The ailment would be, let's say as a buyer, I'm the buyer. The seller stops communicating with me. I need to send them an email saying, hey, I'm sending you a cure notice. It doesn't have to be anything in like a fancy document. You just send them an email and saying, hey, I'm sending you a cure notice. We haven't heard from you. And if we don't hear from you within 10 days, you are hereby in breach of this contract. Okay. Here's why that's important, because you can then sue the seller once you are in breach. You cannot sue a seller if they are not in breach of contract. Does that make sense? Now it's, by the way, that rarely happens, but it does happen. I'd say 1 in 50 contracts, you'll run into a seller that's just completely ghosts you. It will happen. Let's go to number 9, Carly. I like how we're hodgepodging this together. This is really good. Who cares about this? 9, who cares? 10, don't care. 11, I do care about. Watch this. This is very important. Okay. Assignment 11.2. I care really a lot about 11.2. It says buyer can or buyer may assign this contract or any of its right hereunto to any person, partnership, corporation, or any other entity without notice to the seller. Seller's consent to such assignment is not necessary or required. So that gives you the ability to wholesale this contract to anybody. Why would you sue the seller for ghosting you, Jimmy? Why wouldn't I? That's a better question, Jimmy.
They're
Why
wasting your
wouldn't I
time
sue
and
the
your
seller?
money.
Jimmy, why wouldn't I sell it? Let's talk about that, Jimmy. Carly, will you unshare your screen for a second? Jimmy, what's up, my guy?
Hey, what's up, Pace?
Why would I not sue the seller?
Well, if he just ghosts you, then shouldn't you just kind of move on to another deal or something else in the pipeline? I mean, because what you're doing is you're trying to uh, buy the property, right? But if the deal just kind of falls through because he's not, talking to you or for whatever reason he doesn't want to sell or whatever, then you would sue the guy for that?
I not only would I have, I've won 7 of these lawsuits. They are called specific performance lawsuits. It means that the seller did not perform on something specific. And because they did not perform on that thing specifically, then I had specific damages because of their lack of performance. So I therefore get damages. So I'll give you a good example. Do you want to know why a seller will ghost you, Jimmy? Maybe this will give you a better understanding.
Yeah.
One of my most famous hoodies that I wear around says, buyers are liars, sellers are worse. Okay, it's a phrase I came up with about 7 years ago. And actually the full phrase is buyers are liars, sellers are worse, agents are of the devil. Just so you know, that's the full phrase. But I was pissing off too many agents. Okay. There you go. John Collins says, what with the lawyer to cost, is it even worth it? Every time I've had it, it's always worth it because I'm not getting $3,000 assignment contracts. Okay. So I'll tell you a good little story, Jimmy. This happens and it will happen. If you're going to be successful in this business, this will happen. I had a seller. Her name was April. And April and I signed a contract. Actually, I didn't sign a contract with her. I went and met with her and I actually had a printed contract and there's 2 missing pages. I was like, oh my gosh, where's my transaction coordinator? I'm so stupid. This is a true story. I'm so dumb. So I'm glad this happened because what happened is my wife had to go back, my transaction coordinator, sit down with April, get the final document signed. So we actually had 2 people go to the same appointment. This was important because when I actually went to court or when we went to mitigation or mediation, it was important to prove that my wife and myself went to 2 different appointments. Okay. Here's why. I get the contract. I pay like $120 for it. I turn around and I sell it to somebody for $200,000. There's an $80,000 potential profit on the deal. Now that person's name is John. John is also the person that stole $1 million from me about 3 years after this happened. But this is why all Johns just in my mind, I cringe when I meet a John. That's a joke. I really don't. So what happens is Jimmy, I didn't have the buyer for this. So I sent it to another wholesaler who I knew had a lot of buyers. Welcome to this business. This happens all the time. Okay. I'm an acquisition guy. Do you see how good I am on the phone?
Yeah.
I should be on the phone, right? Highest and best use is pace on the phone as much as possible, right?
Right.
Okay, so in this situation, what I did is I sold the deal to John and I told John, I don't care what you make, but I want 200. And he went and he goes, wait, what's your contract price? And I'd done 100 deals with John, literally. And I told him, I showed him the contract and he goes, okay, no big deal. And I thought I could trust John, but here's what ended up happening. About 3 or 4 days after I gave the contract to John, I've already, by the way, spoiled the ending of what happened here. Storytelling Pace. Be a better storyteller. My gosh, you horrible knucklehead. So three days later, I get a call from the title company, Jimmy, not from April. And the title company says, hey, April is sent us a very interesting email. She would like to cancel the contract. And I go, okay. I try to call April. She doesn't answer. right? She's ghosting me. I go knock on her door. She doesn't answer. Leave a note on her door. Doesn't answer. She's ghosting me. I'm like, what the crap? There's $80,000 on the line here. How many people would be pissed off if you had an $80,000 assignment where the seller now isn't going to sign the contractor? They're not going to follow through with the thing. So what happens is I go to the title company. I go, can you show me the letter that she sent? Guys, this was the most eloquent letter I'd ever seen a seller that was in foreclosure writing. Like this lady, it was like ChatGPT wrote the whole thing. And this was like 6, 7 years ago before that was a thing. And I'm like, she didn't write this. Somebody went to her house. Somebody coached her along. And so what I did, Jimmy, is I sued her. I did something called a Liz Pendens is what it's called. It costs about $1,200. Welcome to business. You want to make big money, you got to spend some money sometimes. So I spent $1,200. I opened a pending lawsuit and we opened up a negotiation back and forth where she's like, oh crap, I didn't think Pace was going to sue me. Oh my gosh. A Liz Pendens, Jimmy, makes it so she cannot sell the house to anybody else. We have a pending lawsuit stuck to her house. She can't do anything with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were in contract with her. Like she was in contract. She signed
I would
it.
not be able to sue anybody if they're not in contract with me.
I was just going to say that's the key. She signed a contract, and from the moment a seller signs a contract, they are obligated to sell you their property.
Yeah. Guess who can cancel a contract, Jimmy? The buyer.
The buyer.
Guess who cannot cancel a contract? The seller. Ever. Under no condition can the seller cancel a contract. No condition. Okay. Now, you can feel bad for the seller and you can choose to release them of that, but the seller cannot cancel a contract unless Jimmy breaches contract. Okay. Therefore, they're not canceling the contract. You breached. They're saying, we're moving away. You breached. This is no longer a valid contract. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I of course, get the contract. Like I said, Jimmy, did you miss the part where I said my wife went back and got the contract signed?
No, I heard you. Yeah.
Okay. But then you came back and asked, did you have the contract?
Well, I was asking, well, I guess it was in the beginning. I thought you had just sent her the offer letter and
No.
she was
I did not send her an offer letter. I went and physically met with her. Remember, I had the printed out contract and I was missing 2 pages. I said, crap, let me send my wife back. My wife went back and she actually got the paperwork signed. Great. Then I also told you, John asked for a copy of my contract. And when he found out how much money I got it for, remember all that?
Yeah. You told him 120.
Okay. So we already know P-Dog is under contract at this point, right? So what happens is I see the letter from the title company and I go, there's no way that came from April Giuliano, or not Giuliano. She's one of my students. There's no way this came from April. And we find out through months and months of this lawsuit, we find out that John hired a real estate attorney to go and knock on the lady's house. By the way, this real estate attorney ended up losing her license over this. Okay, her and John, this is a guy, by the way, John, by the time he was 40 years old, had filed bankruptcy 3 times. So this guy's just a piece of turd, right? I didn't know this stuff. I'm doing, sometimes you just got to go learn the hard stuff. So he hired a real estate attorney to go knock on her door and say, hey, I have a copy of Pace's contract, and I would like to show you how to get out of this contract so you can get more money. So John then got her into contract. I had it at 120. He went and recontracted her at 130. But guess what? He couldn't close that deal, Jimmy. Why?
Liz Pendens.
She was already under contract. Or
No.
the suing her. You had the
Write this down, everybody. Just because I have a contract doesn't mean somebody else can't go and close their contract the next day. That's not what happens. Who knows I even have a contract?
The title company that you're that you have escrow open with are the only people who know.
That's it.
It's not on county record. It's not on state record.
Another buyer could sign that contract with the seller the next day and open at a different title company. And if they're faster than you, they can go close that transaction faster and nobody knows the wiser.
Nope.
Crazy, huh, Jimmy?
So would you, if someone were to go behind your back and she were to open up another contract with someone else and ultimately end up closing with that other person, how would you find out about that? I mean,
the way you find out about that is that you see public record. It has happened to me and we've gone back and sued the seller. Jimmy, you're just afraid of lawsuits, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, make a goal in your life is to make sure that before you die, you get it into at least one lawsuit, bro. It's liberating. Okay,
Okay.
every single business person is going to be in a lawsuit, a disagreement, a mediation. There's always going to be that's going to happen. If you're going to live your whole life going, oh my gosh, I'm never going to evict a tenant, I'm not going to be in a fight. Well, then stay at your 9 to 5 job because maybe that's the safest place for you.
And it's not
But-
that the seller is what they are doing is against the law, but they will get away with it unless you sue them.
Correct. Okay. So here's what happened. Okay. So what do? I go hire my attorney. The second she stopped communicating and she tried to cancel the contract, I knew, because I had already been in the business for a couple of years, I knew the only way to prevent her from going in around my back was to file a lawsuit. Now, a filed lawsuit makes everyone know that that property cannot close escrow. So John's over here trying to close escrow on his 130 contract, finds out I have a pending lawsuit on the house and says, "Oh crap. That's scary." So John is doing it. He's like texting me. I didn't know it was John this whole time. John's over here texting me going, "Hey man, how's it going with April? You heard from her?" Bro, like all the deceit, all the stuff is going on. I had no idea it was John the whole time. Then we get a deposition and we have the attorney who coached her along on rewriting this contract gets deposed or whatever it's called and is brought into mediation or arbitration, whatever. I don't know. Guys, I'm
One
not
of
that
those
smart.
things where you have to meet without a judge, basically.
Yes. I'm not that smart. Like if I can make money, you can make money too. I'm an idiot. Okay. So the thing where people meet, in an office with a thing and guess what? The attorney comes in and she's just sitting there lying through her teeth. Like, no, I had no idea she was already under contract. And April goes, "You showed me the contract when you knocked on my door. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose everything. You guys told me everything was going to be fine." And April spilled the beans. This attorney ends up losing her license. It was a news article. Okay. And here's what ends up happening to April, Jimmy. Not only did I sell the property to an end buyer for a higher dollar amount, because guess what happened? This went on for like 7 months. The value of the property went up over time, and I ended up selling this for $225. And the worst thing that could have happened to April, a lady who's in foreclosure, the judge awarded me a $20,000 damage, okay, for the specific performance claim. Plus, she had to spend $30,000 on my attorney's fees. So she had a $120,000 contract. By the time we were all said and done, she only got $70,000. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's wild.
So now let me ask you a question. Why would I not sue the seller?
I mean,
You think and by the way,
Oh.
you know who the greatest liars of all time are as sellers? The old ladies. They've had more practice than anybody. Every old lady you're talking to is so full of crap. They might be the sweetest person feeding you cookies in your appointment with them. They are so full of crap. They have all the experience. They've been manipulating their husband for 50 something years. They've been manipulating their bar knuckle or pinochle group. And they've manipulated everybody their whole life. And they make you feel like, oh, I'm not talking to anybody else. Dude, that old lady has nothing but time to talk to 15 other people. Here's what we do typically, Jimmy. When I get a property under contract in wholesale situation, 80% of the time, you know what I'm doing? I'm filing what is called a memorandum on that property to make sure that the world knows that that property is under contract. A memorandum is like a claim on the property, and it just protects you to a certain degree. Okay. We don't have time to talk about memorandums in the Elephant Challenge this time around. We could do it maybe next month. Okay. By the way, Elephant Challenge, we're going to do another round of it in 2.5 weeks, just FYI, for everybody that's like, I want to keep learning. And so we'll change it up. The Elephant Challenge changes up just a little bit every single time. And we move forward, we progress. Okay.
Love it. Everyone really wants to know what happened to John. Did you sue
John?
him?
Hold on a second. So Jimmy, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. Things pay so much, your generosity, the value that you bring, all
No
for
problem,
free.
bro.
It's amazing. Thank you.
No
God bless
problem,
you.
bro. No problem. No problem. I'm happy to help. I wish somebody helped me as much as this. And sadly, I didn't get as much of this help when I was first starting out, but I did get a lot of help. And so I'm paying it forward. I got a lot of help like on year 4 or 5. Bill, how you doing, bro?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, so you're asking me a due on sell question. Have you watched the training inside of the Subto vault where we've overcome the due on sell clause, and that exact post we actually had videos about how it got overcome?
I'd like to find a link to that. There's a lot in the vault, and there's a lot to decipher through.
Yeah, so you're asking me to go and filter it for you instead of you being resourceful?
Well, that'd be great. Thanks, Pace.
That
I'm
will
kidding.
not
I'm
be
joking.
happening. I created it for you, my friend. But by the way, we've overcome the due on sell clause for like 15 students. And Molly has done it in the PACE studies vault. Okay. So when you go into the PACE studies, you'll see exactly how we've overcome the due on sell clause. It's a non-issue. That post was like, it's so silly. What happens is there is a lot in the vault, but that's what you want. You want a lot in the vault. You want to know that every question you can imagine, we have 4 or 5 or 6 trainings on it, not just like, hey, here's what to do. The type of training that I've always done for the last 4 years in Sub 2 is that when it happens, Molly and I text each other and go, hey, let's go do a 2-hour Zoom about this. In fact, Bill, we're doing a 2-hour Zoom next week about how to properly wholesale a Sub 2 contract because the laws have changed in the last 24 months. So we're doing a live one for 2 hours and we'll just continually update those. But the post you're talking about, we actually did a full dedicated Zoom on that. Go into the PACE studies and go to the Sub 2 vault and type in due on sale PACE studies, and you'll find 2 or 3 videos that it'll be distilled down to really, really, really simple. And I think you could find it pretty quickly. I sadly am on the elephant challenge. Otherwise I would do it for you. Okay, cool.
Someone actually sent him the link too, just so you know.
Oh, somebody sent, oh.
That was very nice, Jennifer.
Oh, no, Jennifer Reyes is sending the YouTube, like YouTube is like 2% gotcha. Of what we teach inside of Sub 2. What I'm talking about is he's not asking about how to overcome the due on sell clause. He's talking about a specific post that was in the Sub 2 community where somebody had a specific problem, and then Molly went and overcame it, and then she did a 2-hour Zoom on exactly what it was.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's go back to the contract. I got sidetracked. We were talking about lawsuits and Liz Pendens and all that kind of stuff. But this is why these things are so important. Okay, cool. So assignment, that allows us to do assignment. Time is of the essence. I think that's just a waste of time, honestly. Okay, so 11.5. Everybody wants to know what happened to John. John, I don't even want to tell you. It's such a sad story. He's back scamming people. I honestly, like 5 years ago, I thought somebody was going to shoot him, kill him, like for how bad it was, but no, he did not die. He's still alive. He's scamming people right now. Okay. Can you do an assignment in California? Let me tell you where you cannot do an assignment. You can do an assignment everywhere. What you can't do is you can only wholesale contracts in Chicago or in Illinois 1 time per year. So Karina says Chicago. Yeah. So Chicago, you can wholesale as a non-licensed investor 1 time per year. But if you are licensed, you can wholesale as many times as you'd like. So it's not that assigning or wholesaling is illegal. Amy, everybody, it's so funny how people's brains work. It's like, what about Florida? Guys, there's no problems with Florida whatsoever. Okay. Can you convert this contract into a Sub 2? If you do, you're an idiot. Okay. You do not, a Sub 2 contract is so completely different than this. So completely different than this. Okay.
Why would you want to use the Sub 2 contract?
Yeah, we use a Sub 2 contract and a Sub 2 addendum, so, all that kind of stuff. It's a completely different contract. So 11.5 memorandum of contract. So do you guys remember what I mentioned a little bit ago where I talked about when I sign a contract with a seller, I'm always putting a memorandum on a property. A memorandum basically is just a sticky note that I put on the county where I say, hey guys, just so you know, I have a contract on this property. It's really simple. Okay. So electronic execution, who cares? Buyer disclosures, who cares? Okay, got it. I think that's basically it. Done.
That's it. Then you're going to have everybody sign it.
Was, wait, hold on. This isn't like 25 pages?
No, I want to say it's like 4.
Okay. I think it's, I think it is 4. I think there's like, if you scroll down, I think there's like a blank page or something like that down there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the memorandum. So there you guys go. You got the memorandum with the thing. So if you want to make sure,
Nice gift.
memorandum is just asked of the title company. Maybe. Let's talk about that for a second. We'll talk about, can I talk about memorandums just for a second? Carly, unshare if you don't mind. Let me talk about memorandum for just a minute. All right. Here's what I would do on memorandum. If you guys are like stuck on the memorandum thing, one thing that I did is I did a memorandum YouTube video. Check this out. Let's do a little screen share for y'all. I did a memorandum YouTube video with my attorney. So let's go to YouTube. And let's type in Pace Morby memorandum. I bet the Sean St. Clair video will pop up. Oh, that one's good. Okay. Elephant challenge. That's, oh, how is that pop up? That's great. There it is right here. This video 2 years ago, phenomenal video. I can't believe that was 2 years ago. Memorandums when wholesaling with my actual attorney. This is my attorney that actually wrote the contract that you guys are currently looking at right now. Sean St. Clair has been my attorney for 9 years, and he's awesome. So you can use him. He's our contract attorney. He writes all the contracts for our Subto community. By the way, Subto community, we have a brand new contract coming out. I think in about 2 weeks, just FYI for the Subto contract, seller finance contract, etc. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the contract, Carly. So sorry about that. If they ask for a cash offer, but you don't have the cash yet, bad news. Casey Carlson. I think you don't quite understand how wholesale works, Casey Carlson. Let's talk about that for a second. Casey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. That is true. I'm trying to learn.
Hey, no problem. If just because I point something out doesn't mean I'm criticizing you, just FYI.
Right.
So you don't know what wholesale means, and you're worried that if I make a cash offer and I don't have the money, that I have to actually be the one that has the money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know what wholesale means?
That you're gonna probably assign it to someone.
Yep, I'm going to assign it. So I'll get it under contract, and then I will have somebody else actually fulfill on that contract. And when they fulfill on that contract, they're going to pay me a little bit more than what that contract states. So if I'm buying something for 100,000, I get it under contract for 100,000, and I sell. I'm actually selling the rights to a contract is what I'm doing. Okay, so I get a contract with a seller, and I get that under contract, and it says it's a cash offer, and I have to close in 45 days, and I have 10 days for an inspection period. I have to have earnest money and all that kind of stuff. That sounds very stressful, right? You don't have to have any of those things, right? You don't have to have the cash. You don't have to worry about the inspection period. You can cancel during that. And then the EMD, you can just use what we call a Gator. Okay. Gators are the ones that bring money to a transaction. And
So if you wanted to hold it, or I guess buy it at a wholesale price and do that yourself, maybe
okay,
I
like
guess
fix,
that's where
fix
I
and
would
flip or buy and hold.
flip and hold.
Okay, that's called the burr strategy. Everybody hates that strategy, but we could, let's just say we use it. What do? We go to myinvestorloan.com. That's who I use. We go to myinvestorloan.com. MyInvestorLoan gives me the purchase money and the construction money, okay, to buy the property. And then whatever they won't give me. So let's say I get it under contract for 100,000 KC, and myinvestorloan.com says, "Hey, I'll give you 80,000 for it." Guess what I have to do? I have to go to somebody in the Subto community or a Gator and say, "Hey, does somebody want to partner with me? I don't have this $20,000. I'll split the deal with you." You see how that works?
Yep. I just when it said cash, I guess that was the part that
That's
versus
a
going to get a
total lie.
loan.
That's a total lie.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's honestly, I wish we didn't actually describe it that way in the industry. Everybody actually knows that it's not a cash offer. 99% of fix and flippers don't use their own cash, and if they do, they're idiots. And you can tell them that. Tell them to fight me in an alleyway. I'll beat them up.
Okay. That was
Fix
my
and flip,
point of confusion. Yeah.
yeah, fix and flippers don't use their own cash. They use hard money for the purchase, and then they bring in a partner for the private money. That's like 99% of every fix and flipper I've ever seen is they bring in other people's money 99% of the time. The only 1% of people that use their own money are dumb, and they listen to Dave Ramsey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So we use other people's money, so you don't ever have to worry about that. Okay.
All right. Fantastic.
There's always, like, every single time we talk about money, go, oh, that's somebody else's money. Now, you might not know exactly what that means yet, but just be okay that you know, like, it's going to be somebody else's money, not mine. Okay.
All right. I'm ready.
Cool.
Let's go.
Good question. Okay. Thank you so much. Somebody jumped on it right away. Okay. So this contract's really easy. Let's, so we don't need to talk about, the memorandum so much. I give you guys a YouTube video for that. All right. Now let's talk about an assignment. So let's say I get this under contract. Let's open up the assignment contract. This has got to be the easiest one ever.
Easiest contract ever to fill out.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. All right. This is part of the homework tonight. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
The homework tonight. Okay. Gina says, I can't see it. I can see it. Can everybody else see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love that immediately people start blaming androids.
I know, because they know my jokes. They guys, you know, I actually think androids are really cool. I'm sorry. Sometimes I tease about them. It's just fun about it. Okay. Was the assignment contract shared as well? Yeah, Eddie, it sure was. It was shared in the same block.
And it's being shared again.
Okay. Brian says, DFW says, can I get everyone's contact information? You'll get people's contact information when you get on a team, my friend. Okay. All right. So, Jade, why would I assign, what the hell is an assignment? What are we doing here?
You're selling the contract to someone else. So you're basically going to assign the contract to someone else, and they are going to fulfill the contract.
Hey guys, by the way, when somebody says, I'm proud to say that I love my Android, that's not something that human beings say. You must be an Android yourself. You must be off an alien spaceship. Okay. Okay. You are an imposter. Okay. Unshare this for just a second. I want to talk about, really great question Carl Williams brings up. I think a lot of people get value from this. Carl Williams, this is a really beginner question, and I love it so much because I think a lot of people get value. What's up, Carl? How you doing?
How you doing, Pace? I just started following you a couple weeks ago, and I learned a lot from you and
cool.
Jerry Norton, I believe. You man.
Love Jerry Norton. One of my, in fact, I bought this house that I'm in right now from Jerry Norton. I love that man so much.
Yeah, I think I heard you say that you did a Subto deal on that.
I did do a Subto. I did a very, very creative deal on this. You should go watch the YouTube video. It's gangster.
I watched it.
Okay, cool. So Carl, why would a fix and flipper not use their own money?
Because I was thinking with hard money, you would have to pay back the interest. And what I'm learning right now with hard money, the interest is kind of high, and it could be also a variable interest rate, and you wouldn't know how long you probably have the property. So the holding costs might be kind of, topsy-turvy. You might not know how long you hold it for, and that's more money that you have to pay back.
Okay, cool. So really, I love the mindset of a new person, right? That was my mindset a long time ago too. Before I got into the business, I was like, oh, so everybody's like using their cash buyers. They got all this cash. That is absolutely not true. I don't know any fix and flippers that use their own cash. None. One, because I don't associate with idiots. Okay. Why are they an idiot? Well, here's the problem, Carl. If I told you, let's go do a $300,000 flip and the renovation is going to be 80 grand. Do you have $380,000 to gamble right now?
No.
Okay. First and foremost, you can't get into the game when you're trying to save up 300. You know how many people, what's the average? Let's Google this right now. What's the average person? Okay. What's the average person retiring with? Let's say that right now. What's the average person retiring with? Done. I'm 65. I'm retiring. What's the average American's retirement amount?
The chat is saying 100,000.
Okay. So what we're saying, Carl, let's think about this. All these people went to their 9-to-5 job until the day they turned 65 years old. Okay, people are saying 33,000. Rose Jang says 6 million. Rose, invest with me, Rose. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm not
457.
asking you guys how much money you have. I'm saying what's the average person in the United States based on Google have? Okay. Okay. Michael Reyes says $87,000 according to the Fed. Okay. Cool. Deborah says you cannot retire with 500,000. I mean, yeah, you can, just not the way you want to live your life and the way I want to live my life. But there's a lot of people that retire for way less money. Okay. Cool. Let's see. 80% of everyone has no retirement. Perfect. 80% of everyone has no retirement. Google says those from 45 to 54 have an average of this. 65 to 74, the average person has $426,000 in retirement. So, Carl, what you're saying is, hey, you know what? We got to use our own cash. So let's wait until we're 67 years old to do our first fix and flip.
No, what I was saying for my
No, I
personal,
understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying for the if the average person said, I don't want to pay for debt, I don't want to pay for interest, and they got to save up their own money. I'm showing you that the average person in America would take up until they're 65 years old to have the ability to do the average price of one flip.
yes, you're right.
Okay, so
I
why
have
would
another
I want
question.
to wait that long to do my first flip? I wouldn't. I want to get into the game. And the best thing to get into the game is use other people's money. Now, why would I also use other people's money, Carl, is because they run the risk of losing the money, not me.
Right.
I'm putting them. That's what their business is. They're a hard money lender. And so what they're doing is they're saying, we're going to charge you interest because our money is at risk, not your money is at risk. Right. So I'm now getting myself into a game without really any true risk, which I like. I mean, there's risk, right? Your credit can be damaged and all that kind of stuff. But you're not going to lose your life savings going and doing fix and flips if something bad happens, right? A hard money lender who does this for a living and has been doing it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they're the ones that have their money at stake, right?
Right.
So here, you want me to tell you the real reason why intelligent people don't use their own cash?
Please.
Okay, because intelligent people can make way more money on their money than 12%. Okay, so I'll give you a good example. Okay, if I'm using my money, I know what my average rate of return is on my money when I'm in business. Okay, my average rate of return, I can go buy a business, I can go do Gator loans. So I have faster transactional funding. Like Gator loans are way faster. So my percentage of how much money I'm making is way more significant. So let's think about this. I have $380,000 hypothetically to do a flip or to go and earn money on doing transactional lending. Okay. Do you know how much money I can make on transactional lending? Now, Carl, you're newer, so you're not going to understand what transactional lending is quite yet. But if I'm doing double closes, those double closes are 1-day loans and I earn 2% on every single time I do it. So that's 7,000 or what is that? 7,600. Oh no, it's more than that. Yeah. $7,600. So I can make $7,600 every time I turn that money over in 1 day. This happens all the time. Double closes thousands and thousands and thousands of times a day. This is happening. So if I'm turning my money over, I'm making $7,600. And then a week later, I make another $7,600. Then the next week I make $7,600. I make way more money on my money than I would ever make by putting it and saving interest on a fix and flip. So if I know how to make way more money on my personal money, wouldn't it make sense for me to go and put that into something that's gonna make me 30, 40% a year versus and that's like guaranteed if I'm working it, versus I'm going to put it into my fix and flip because I want to save 12%. The difference is it's like a 30% difference of where I should be putting my money. I think people that use their own money are boring because they have no other options. Right. Basically, it's like a dude that is in North Dakota, okay? And he marries a girl with one eye. Okay? She's a Cyclops. Why'd you marry the Cyclops? Well, because she was the only person in town. Bro, leave South Dakota. There's more people, there's more human beings somewhere else. Like you don't. So what happens to a lot of people is they just got boring lives. They don't know how to go make more money. And so I guess technically there are fix and flippers out there that think that they're saving money. But the reality is when you're an intelligent business operator, you go, I can make way more money than 12% of my money. So while I'm doing my fix and flips, I'm going to use other people's money and I'm going to allocate my capital in a place that gives me a higher yield. Therefore, that 12% really isn't costing me any money. It's just allowing me to make money somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Now, if you spend a day with me, here's what would happen. You drive around to some of my projects. I go, that house I did a double close on and I made $7,600. That house I did a fix and flip with somebody else's money. And I had their money for 4 months and I paid them $7,200. It's like, yeah, I did that in one day and I had their money for 4 months. And I actually still made more money on my money in just one day of work than they made on their money in 4 months of letting me hold it. Does that make sense?
Yes. I have another question, Pace. One more, if I'm not taking too much of your time.
Okay. What do you got?
I have property in Orlando, Florida. I was thinking about selling it, or I wanted to really do a 1031 exchange, but I want to take the cash and get into real estate with that. So if you were in my position, what would you do?
Okay, so is it your primary residence or is it a rental?
No, it was my grandfather's. It passed down to my mother. We put it in a trust. I'm
Yeah,
the
what's
trustee.
it doing right now? Is somebody living in it? What's
Right
going
now
on?
we have a tenant in there, but they're paying way less than what the rental, I guess the rental average is for that area.
Is the property paid off?
Property is paid off.
Okay, I'm going to give you some advice that you don't want to hear. But it's what you need to hear. I had to hear this advice too. If you are selling properties or 1031ing, and that's your only way to like go into real estate investing is to sell something to then get into real estate, you are being lazy.
Right.
What do I mean by that? Instead of, let's think about this, Carl. You have, in order to 1031, you have to find another property that is actually a good property. You have to sell, deal with the tenant, show the property, deal with the buyer, deal with all that kind of stuff, and then roll that over. Like that's a lot of work, and that's going to require a skill for you to obtain. You're going to have to obtain the how to 1031 skill, correct?
Yes,
you don't currently have that skill, so that's good. I'm glad that you would obtain that skill, but you don't currently have that skill, so you would have to go and obtain that skill in order to then get the money and then get it sucked up in that property, right? Because you're like, I just want to make more money. Okay. If I were you, I would allocate my time learning a different skill. Think about this. What if you allocated that same amount of time? You just leave that property where it's at. Don't touch that money. Don't touch that money. That's lazy money. Use your time and your energy to acquire a different skill that has a higher yield. Go and find deals for people like me. Get paid 10. I bought a deal from one of my students today. They made $11,000. No, the one on Ash, he made, I think Andrew made 10 grand on Ash. And
I thought
Eric
it was
made,
11, but it could be 10.
Okay, cool. So you know how much work he put into that, Carl? 2 hours. He made 2 hours of calls. It was an expired listing. He's like, Pace, do you want to buy this deal Subto? Yep. $10,000. Eric actually made $5,000 on top of it. Divide that 11 grand into 12 months and compare that to a potential cash flow. So let's do this. You roll your money into a new property, and that took you 2 or 3 months to accomplish that. You acquire the skill of 1031 exchange, right? Makes sense? Now you're like, Carl knows how to do 1031 exchange. Well, guess what? That property is now going to have another tenant and another thing and another headache and another this and a blah, 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 just for you to cash flow $10,000 a year, hypothetically. Okay. Or you could allocate the same amount of time to going out and finding out how to do these deals and finding people to buy them. And you do one deal a year for the rest of your life. You will make more money on that one deal per year than you ever will on the cash flowing asset. The best skill for you to acquire is how to go out and find deals and get paid to find those deals for other people. So some people listen to me, some people don't. So at the end of the day, what would you rather be? Carl, the guy that knows how to do a 1031, or Carl that knows how to go find deals for people and get paid $10,000 every time I go and apply 5-10 hours to my craft?
Obviously, the deal finder.
There you go. Both of them are going to require a skill to be obtained. Okay. So which one do you want to go and obtain? I don't care about 1031. I'm like, we have properties that have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity on them. I keep them. Why? because I want to go and acquire new skills and new relationships because I know where the higher yield is not on the 1031. Now, of course, we do 1031s. The last time I did 1031s were in 2019, but I typically just sit on my properties because I know where the majority of my money is made is going and doing more transactional stuff. For me, I do a lot more buying now than what I did years ago. But when I was just doing what you're doing, dude, 100 grand a month, 150,000 a month, 200,000 a month, that does not come from cash flowing real estate. That comes from transactional wholesale and other things. Okay. So there you go. That's what you should be doing. Go and learn that skill. Everything is everything. Think about this for the sub two students, Gators. Ooh, you guys want to hear something cool for the free Facebook group? Here's something really cool that's coming out in like a couple of weeks for the free Facebook group. We are releasing something called merit badges for our entire community. So all these little micro skills I just talked about, Carl, like raising capital, getting my first employee, finding a deal for other people, 1031, getting my first RV, like these are all merit badges we are creating for our community. So Subto has about 300 little micro skills that we're creating 12-week classes on that they get to learn for free. Gator I think it's like 80 or 90 classes that they'll get on individual merit badges. Top tier TC has 40 so far. Then we're going to give some of these merit badges to the free Facebook group for free. One of the first merit badge we're going to teach you guys is something that you're not all going to love, but it's very, very needed. It's called the safety merit badge of how to do deals safely, how to deal deals with each other safely, how to JV with each other, how to be on other people's teams safely, how to protect yourself and make it so we don't screw each other and all that kind of stuff. So that is a 12-week class that is launching in like 2 weeks. It'll be an hour a week for 12 weeks. And you can then earn a badge that says, I have the safety merit badge. I'm safe to do deals with, as far as you know, because I at least went through the training. And if I break the training, at least I had no excuse for why I screwed you. That's free. I'm doing that for free for the Facebook or the free Facebook group. Mostly, can I tell you why? Because I don't want my students to get screwed over by people that don't know how to do deals safely. Mm-hmm. I want to teach the free Facebook group to bring deals and opportunities to my students without them doing it in a shady way. And so we're creating a safety merit badge. Then listen up for the free Facebook group. The free Facebook group, we're going to be coming out with a Wholesale 101 badge where we're going to teach you guys Wholesale 101 in a 12-week class. How much do you think that's going to cost the free Facebook group? Free. So if any of you knuckleheads have paid for wholesale education, we're going to make it free and we're going to give you an actual merit badge. We'll do a Wholesale 101, a Wholesale 202, a Wholesale 303, and we'll continue to graduate it through. That will be completely free to the free Facebook group. Why? Why would I do that? Well, because I care about my Subto, Gator, and top tier TC students. I want you guys in the free Facebook group to learn how to do these deals safely. And I want you guys to learn the basics of wholesaling and then go and collaborate with my students. I want to make sure you bring opportunities. I want that Facebook group to double in the amount of deals that are being done. Okay. So we're putting a lot of time and energy. I hired people. Jade is putting a lot of time into it. It's a tremendous amount of work. Okay. Jeff says, I was never in Boy Scouts. Can you tell I was in Boy Scouts? My mom wouldn't let me kiss girls until I had my freaking Eagle Scout, just straight up. Okay. Hungry Gator says, Pace is building the real estate empire. We are, right? Our community is doing this. This is Subto has been around for 4 years. That community has been industry changing. We have barely started, in my personal opinion. Gator comes along to assist. Top tier TC is the glue that keeps us all these freaking knuckleheads all together. And then we want to make sure that the free Facebook groups gets it more. I want the free Facebook group to get more value in our free Facebook group than you could in a whole. There's a girl, I won't say her name, but we brought her up on Subto family night the other night. Before she joined Subto, she went and paid somebody $100,000 for a wholesale mentorship 3 months ago. Huh? What? I'm going to give you
for that $100,000. I'm curious.
She was told that she was going to get one-on-one mentoring for unlimited amount of time. And I was like, okay, so cool. So you guys are doing deals. She's like, I've never been able to get on a phone call with this guy. There's 22 other people that paid this guy $2.2 million in mentorship fees. and he's never gotten on a call with any of them other than be like, it's coming, don't worry, it's releasing, we're going to work on it, I'm going to fix it, da 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 da. There you go.
I feel
Now,
like I might know the owner of that mentorship.
no, you actually, I don't know that you do. I mean, you know, people here in Arizona that do knucklehead stuff like that, but this person, I don't want to say where they're at, but they're not in Arizona.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, I don't want to call them out, but we want to make sure our free Facebook group provides hundreds of $1,000s of actual courses, like organized courses with contracts and all that kind of stuff for the people that are brand new, so that the baby elephants, just so you guys know, we call the free Facebook group, the people in there, the baby elephants. You guys are just starting out. You're asking questions like Carl, like, why would a fix and flipper use somebody else's money, right? That's a beginner question. Love it. Super valuable. But those kind of questions can be answered in a free wholesale course that I'm just like, why don't we just give that away for free? Shouldn't everybody kind of know that?
Mm-hmm.
And it will amplify that Facebook group. And so tell your friends, guys, tell everybody in the world, Pace's free Facebook group. It's not mine. You'll see Jade's face on there. Molly's on there. Sean St. Clair, my attorney, my wife. That free Facebook group, you guys are going to go, this thing teaches more value about getting cash deals done than I've ever seen anywhere else, even in a paid setting. This will be completely free. How do you sign up for merit badge classes? You will be able to sign up during the next Elephant Challenge. We'll launch it. It's completely free. There's no upsells. There's none of that stuff. In fact, I don't want you to buy anything. I want you to just join the free class so you could do deals with my students. Okay. Amelia says, Pace, you said everyone hates
I was just looking at that.
Do I have to elaborate on why people hate the burr strategy, Amelia? Like, is that really something that we really need? Again, just so you guys know, Amelia is not related to Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. Amelia, what's up?
No, I used to tell people I was related to Sugar Shane Mosley.
Who's Sugar Shane Mosley?
He's a boxer.
Oh, I'm obviously an idiot. Dang it, I don't know who that is. I know Ted Mosby. So you said, why do people hate the burr strategy? You tell me why you think I hate the burr strategy.
Well, I mean, I'm listening to you. I'm learning about you. I started learning about you from 12-day challenge. Now we're in the baby elephants. I would think after just hearing you talk about LPM and not using your own money and investing, that buying a property and refinancing that property as opposed to selling it and having that asset and then like the tax breaks.
Okay, so Amelia, what you're saying is instead of fixing and flipping it, actually refinancing it, putting it in your portfolio. Why wouldn't that be something that Pace is telling me to do instead of going and fixing and flipping and putting it on the market, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Amelia, if everybody in here spent a day with me, a lot of people in here have spent a day with me, do you know what advice I would give them? I don't either. I don't know. It would be completely different for you, right? So for example, here's why the burr strategy is total shit for a lot of people. Yeah. It's bad because the burr strategy, the majority of the time right now, just so you know, the burr strategy is like 99% of the people that are doing burr strategy have completely turned their businesses off the last 18 months. It's dead. It's dead. Why? Because interest rates destroy that business model, like completely obliterate it to the point where it's just done off the earth. Everybody just shuts up shop. We're out. Okay. Yeah. You got, I know interest rates are supposed to come down this year and maybe they will. Great. Yeah. But here's the beautiful thing about creative finance and why I love creative finance. One, I don't use my credit. In the burr strategy, guess what I use? Twice.
Yeah.
My credit. I use credit when I acquire the property. Then when I go and refinance the property, guess what I use again?
Yep. Your credit.
Does that sound like a beginner strategy, doing the burr strategy when I'm using my credit twice?
Well, yes.
It's not a beginner strategy. Here's the reason why people like the burr strategy, because it's for lazy people.
Oh.
You want to know why it's for lazy people? Because you like looking at deals on the with agents on the MLS instead of just going and finding deals off market. If you look at Brandon Turner, good friend of mine, Bigger Pockets, right?
Yep.
What does Brandon Turner say? He says all the best deals are off market. The worst deals are on market. 100% of real estate investors will agree to that. 100% of the worst deals are on market. But why do people like on market?
Baby food. It's easy.
They're lazy?
They're lazy. They won't tell themselves they're lazy, but what it is like I'm afraid of communicating with the seller directly. I'm afraid of learning sales tactics. I'm afraid of negotiating. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my comfort zone of talking to an agent, and I'm going to do a deal, and I'm going to save up you know what's funny, Amelia? What I find is it's easier for human beings to go up and save up a bunch of money at their 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Than it is to learn the skill of just raising money from somebody else in 1/10 the amount of time.
Yeah. But Pace, can't you burr off market deals?
Yeah.
And that's still trash? Or
But why would I burr the off market if I could just go directly to the seller and do Subto and seller finance deals? Why would I do burr strategy?
all right, I need to learn more about Subto and seller finance. That's
But I have not done I will do burr deals only because here's when I do a burr deal.
Yep.
When I bought the property subject to or seller finance, and I've owned the property now for 5, 7, 10 years, and it's time for me to refinance and suck out all the money, I will then do a refinance. You know what I call that? I call that a SIR strategy. Guess what's better than burr? Why? Seller finance or subject to is the first S of the SIR strategy. I'd rather use the SIR strategy. I have no credit used all the way through. And then when I do the refinance, the property has so much equity in it that I can suck it all out. Okay. Why would I go and get large down payments? Why would I go and listen to a bank and have the, by the way, Amelia, have you done the burr strategy yet?
Yes.
Okay. Did you love going through your loan officer, and did they do everything they said they were going to do? And the rate that they quoted you, did they actually follow through with that rate?
Yeah. I've
when,
done it.
when you say, yeah, that means not really, they were close. What it is they're like, yeah, we're going to lock you in at 5.5%. And it ends up being 5.65%. And they ask you for more money than you thought. And there's fees that you're like, wait, what the heck is this fee? Did that happen 100% of the time?
Yes. Yes.
You're playing a lazy person's game that you're letting these assholes play around with you. And they're forcing you to use your credit.
Yeah.
You're going to a bank and you're saying, please, daddy, will you please let me have a loan? I've applied. I've done all these things properly. Meanwhile, there's other people just doing Subto and seller finance deals are like, I haven't even walked into a bank. I don't use my credit. I don't have to use my own cash. I don't have to have a W-2. Guess what sucks when you're doing the burr strategy? You don't have a job.
Yeah. So how do you rehab on a SIR? Like if I had to get an off-market property, if I was subtoing or seller financing.
Hey, how many of my students in here have given me private money? How many of my students in here have given me private money or done a deal with me? How many people in here? Okay. I just go to my community and I go, hey guys, I need 40 grand. Who wants to be a partner with me on this deal? Hey, who wants to do this? You can do way more deals. Actually, here's the other thing about the burr strategy. You know what you do in the burr strategy? You rob yourself from the most important relationships you'll ever have in your life, which are private money lenders. As you scale in the business, what'll happen is you'll see bigger deals, bigger opportunities. You'll see a 16-plex, a 20, whatever. And you go, I don't have enough money for that.
Yeah.
Well, if you were only learning one of the most valuable skills on the planet Earth, which is raising capital, instead of going and slaving away at your 9-to-5 job so you can incrementally save like little chunks of money, little coins.
Yeah.
And you actually learn the skill that real big players in the industry play. The burr strategy is the slowest way. Does it work? Yes. Do I use it? Out of absolute necessity only.
Yeah.
And you know anybody crushing in the burr strategy the last 18 months?
I don't know. I know that Facebook group, Burr Invest, they say they are.
Sure. At 7% rates?
Right. Right.
Okay. So the housing market has not come down. Remember, you've probably seen the memes, right? House in 2020 was the price of a house was $320,000 at 3%. Here's the payment. Now the houses are $500,000 at 7%. The payments have doubled. Who's doing the burr strategy right now?
Right.
Now, if the prices of the houses came down where they were supposed to, but that's not what's happened. We're in like this deadlock, right? We've got high interest rates and high homes.
Yep.
The environment that makes it so burr does not survive.
Very
go
true.
online, even Bigger Pockets is like, you look at Bigger Pockets YouTube videos and it's like, why the burr strategy could be a way for you to potentially maybe get a deal this year. It's like, and then there's a video that's like, why the burr strategy isn't dead. Okay. Here's the great thing about creative finance. It wins all the time. Foreclosures, expired listings, low equity deals are going on all the time. VA loans and FHA loans, where we buy a lot of sub-2 deals, those are always happening. I've always been able to get sub-2 seller finance deals no matter what the market is doing. I'm always around 3%. I'm always around 4%. Doesn't matter. I've never used my credit. I've never had to go to a bank and ask a big daddy bank to give me a loan. I've never had to fill out an application. I've never had to talk to a stupid loan officer that lies to me about whether we're going to close in 2 weeks and we don't. And then I missed the rate and then they didn't lock it in. And then I got to pay fees I wasn't planning on paying. And wow, that costs a lot more money than I planned. You ever had those thoughts when you do the burst strategy?
I actually have. Yeah.
I know you have. I have done the burst strategy so many more times than these burst strategy experts that I'm like, why would I do that anymore? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, wow, I found a different strategy. I found a better way of doing it. Why would I go back to the archaic way? It's laziness. Okay. It's comfort. It's a human being going, I don't want to talk to other human beings and build a relationship with private money lenders. I don't want to step out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to listen to the burst strategy people and say, go save up your job. Don't quit your W-2 because your W-2 allows you to go talk to the big daddy bank. All of this is comfort stuff.
Yeah, it is. You're
It
right.
is. I know I'm right. I wouldn't let it out of my mouth if I wasn't. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of stuff, but it stays in here until I figure it 100% out. And then when it comes out here, I go, no, I'm 100% right. I'm so confident in it. It's the same thing when I beat up real estate agents. I'm not beating them up because I hate them. I'm beating them up because I'm trying to get people to understand how the industry works. You want to buy real estate, Amelia.
Yes.
Here's how you do it. You collaborate with my sub-2 community in the area that you're in, and you say, guys, I'm a buyer. Please bring me a deal. And then when you go to my meetups where my people are, you go, hey guys, I'm a buyer. Bring me the deals that you find. I'd like to buy something that's 3%, 4%, duplex, fourplex, whatever the heck it is that you want. Okay.
Yep.
Where do you live, Amelia?
I'm in Western Massachusetts.
Okay. You're in Western Massachusetts. One of the strongest parts of my entire community is in the New England area. Okay.
Great.
A lot of the t-shirts I wear are actually my New England crew. They designed them. I hang out. Where are my people? Where are my people in New England? Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to get involved.
Okay. So you go to them and you say, hey guys, sell me a deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You see all the people right there. Boston. Amelia, I will go. Last year, I went to 110 cities to visit my students in person. I love my community so much. Last year, I went trick-or-treating in Boston with my community. I go up to what's it called? Granite State, New Hampshire. I'll go up to New Hampshire. I visit their flips. They're doing sub-2 deals. They're doing seller finance deals. They're selling deals to each other. Suzanne Sharkey up there. Oh my gosh. You don't need a course. You don't need a mentorship. You need a community of people that are actually doing deals. And you need a community of people that are also taught by me for years that are, oh yeah, Amelia needs money for a private money. No problem. Hey, Amelia, you got a deal from Justin Tumanowski. How about what I do is I'll bring the 40 grand to the table and you and I go 50-50 on the ownership. Are you cool with that? And you're like, wait, hold on a second. You're just telling me that what Pace just told me on YouTube is actually real. I can get a deal from one of his sub-2 students and I don't have to talk to the seller. I don't have to talk to a dumb agent. I don't have to go get my credit pulled, not even one time, not even a hint of my credit. I don't have to use any of my own money. Nobody cares. Do you know that not one time, Amelia, in all the 2,100 rental properties I have, nobody asked me how much money I even had in the bank?
Wow.
But the burst strategies for beginners, the burst strategy is as far away from beginners as I can imagine. You have to use credit, not just once, but twice. You have to have your own money seasoned. You have to have your own W-2 job. You have to be bank worthy.
Yeah.
The 5 hardest parts about doing real estate, you don't need literally any of that in creative finance. None of it. Oh, well, Amelia, you know what? We said we needed 3 months of bank statements. We actually need 6. And can you write us a letter of what that deposit was and why that $500 cash thing was withdrawn? What did you use that $500 for? You ever experienced that?
Yes, I have actually.
Sounds fun.
Not at all.
I love the burst strategy. It's Let's go join Burst Strategy Facebook group so we can all use our credit twice and like save up our own money. And then like, if we wanted to leave our job, we couldn't, because if we left our job, then our big daddy bank won't give us a loan anymore. That sounds fun. And also, I can't borrow money from another investor, because if my big daddy bank found out that I borrowed money from another investor, they wouldn't actually look at me as a credible bank-worthy buyer. That sounds fun.
Right.
That is, I detest that entire world. How is that even scalable? The people that use the Burr model, here's what happens. They all come into Subto. They all come to Subto. And then they go buy a Subto deal. Like, wait, hold, what? I got the deal under contract. 7 days later, I close it. Jade, since you've been on the team and you've seen how Subto deal closed, are you just like, what the freak? This actually is happening?
I actually did the Burr method in the past, and I will tell you, it's the quickest way to work yourself out of wanting to do real estate ever again.
It sucks up so much money, time, resources, all that kind of stuff. So now, Amelia, what happens? You do one deal, and guess what? Most people that are doing the Burr strategy, blessings to them. If they want to do 10 rentals by the end of the day, they die. Awesome. They now have to save up their money to do their next one.
Yep.
And most of the time, your Burr strategy deal is not going to cash flow incredibly heavy. No problem. A lot of rentals don't. That's okay. But your cash flow doesn't start kicking in until like year 2, year 3, to a significant point that you can use that cash flow to actually even pay a cell phone bill. So you just sucked up all your money into one rental that won't really give you a big yield until you raise the rents on year 2, maybe year 3, right?
Yep.
Crap. Let's all go join that Facebook group. That sounds dope.
Well,
And I'm friends with a lot of the Burr strategy people, and we do the Burr strategy, but we do it out of necessity when I need to I'm not really doing the Burr. I'm doing the SUR. I bought it with creative finance, seller finance are subject to. I rent it out, I cash flow, and then I refinance it, right? I will refinance my properties because it's a smart way, but that's not the Burr strategy. That's just regular real estate, right?
Yep.
So now I'm really intense sometimes when I'm performing. I'm really trying to make a point to you.
Yeah, no, I love it.
And when it's somebody else that knows the Burr strategy, like all the people that love to talk about Burr strategy, when they hear me talk, here's what they all hate. When I go up on stage and they're coming up after me, they ask the people that are running the event, hey, can I talk before pace, please? Can I please talk before pace? Can I please talk before pace? I'm going to look so silly. And what happens is they get up, and I'm not trying to beat them up. I go, guys, hey, look, here's the thing. I don't even know why we're talking about anything else. I don't know why anybody talks about anything else. Real estate agents, if they just got, educated on this stuff. Here's the thing too, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
You live in New England. Do you know how many expired listings pop up in your whole New England area every single day in those, what is it, five states or 7 states?
It's Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts. 5.
Okay, so 5, right? So how many expired listings are popping up in those 5 states every day? Not every month, not every year, every day.
I would be guessing if I said a number. You want me to guess?
Yeah, take a guess.
I would say 2,000.
That's a lot, okay? But you're probably closer to like 300 a day.
300.
No. I'm sorry. Yeah, it probably is closer to that. Here to put this into perspective. Phoenix, Arizona, where we live, it's 40 a day on average. Okay. The state of Arizona is closer to 90 a day, just one state. Okay. 90 a day. What is an expired listing, Amelia? It is when a real estate agent gets fired for trying to sell a house for 6 months. Do you know how long 6 months is? It's half of a year.
Yep.
So an agent, I know you know this. I got to be dramatic, obviously.
Yeah.
So they get hired, and for half of a year of their life, they can't sell the piece of real estate. And 90 of them get fired in Arizona every day for not being able to sell those houses. Every day.
Yep.
Good market, bad market, interest rates up, interest rates down, does not matter. 90 of them get fired every day. Your market, I'd probably say you're probably around 400 a day in your total area.
Yep.
These are sellers that already tried to sell, already hired an agent. Burr strategy buyers already tried to buy these stupid houses. They've submitted offers, all that kind of stuff. And still 500 people still fire their agent every single day in your market.
Yeah.
So if you're calling, that's one of 10 lists you can call on every day. I call it the rooster opportunity. Why is it the rooster opportunity? Because every day the rooster crows. Just as sure as the rooster is going to jump on that picket fence over there in New Hampshire, right in the Granite State, all those beautiful leaves over there, that little rooster jumps on the fence and crows. Guess what's going to happen? 500 agents are going to get fired that same day.
Yep.
So when I hear a rooster crow and you guys see a rooster, okay, every time you see a rooster, just think about an agent getting fired. Okay. And I made a joke today. Somebody's like, man, that's so interesting. I go, now you know why I'm so cocky about making money in real estate. Is because the rooster strategy. Every morning, there's new agents getting fired that don't know creative finance, don't know how to comp, and all I have to do is know 1% more than those agents, and I can make millions of dollars. That's not all I have to do. I obviously have to know 1%, and then I have to pick up the damn phone, which is obviously the heaviest object on planet Earth, right? For most people, like talk about the granite state. This might as well be a slab of granite for most people instead of a phone, right?
You just actually have to take action.
You have to take action. You have to make mistakes. And the thing is, Amelia, what you're doing is you're taking action on the burst strategy and you're learning skills and building relationships with people I would never want to build relationships with, called loan officers and banks.
Yeah.
Why do I need why? Do you know? Here's what I want you to do, Amelia.
Okay.
Tonight, I want you to watch a really interesting documentary. I want you, DM me. I'll give you a link to it. Okay.
Okay.
It's the documentary of the DuPont family. Do you know what the DuPont family is? They invented pantyhose, like nylons. All the paint that you've ever seen on any car, yes. They're famous chemical manufacturers. Okay. Do you know how you know how they originally started?
Tupperware?
No, really. They probably did invent Tupperware though. Maybe.
Vacuum cleaner?
They started with gunpowder.
Oh.
Okay. They were a French family. Okay. French family. They escaped the French Revolution. They come to America. And one day, one of the family members is out shooting guns with another American. And for some reason, the DuPont, I don't know his name, John DuPont, his gun is actually firing every time. And the American's like, what the heck is up, man? He's like, well, I have French gunpowder. It's better gunpowder. And blah, blah, blah. He's like, you should start a business. Guess what he does? He does. He goes and starts a business, a gunpowder business, becomes the largest gunpowder company in the entire world, supplies all the gunpowder to World War I. Like, it's crazy. Like the Civil War, all of the Civil War gunpowder was supplied by the DuPont family. They made so much money. Okay. Then here's what happens. People make a ton of money. They get complacent. They get lazy, right? When money is abundant, people get lazy. So here's what happens. John dies. The new family members, the DuPont family, start taking over. Guess what they do? They go, oh man, we don't know how to innovate. We don't know how to do this anymore. The people who are the original visionaries of the company, they left. They're dead. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. You know what we'll do? Now, since we've been complacent, what we'll do is we'll sell our DuPont business to our competitor. Lazy pieces of shit. Okay, why? Your family escaped the French Revolution and you came all the way over here. He dies on your behalf to build this massive empire just so you go, you know what, let's just sell out to these blah, blah, blah. Here's what saved the company. One of the other DuPont family members that was just a lowly factory worker, he says, dude, we can't sell the DuPont family. Are you kidding me? We've just begun. We're much more than, we have way more possibilities than just stupid gunpowder. I've got a vision, right? So he goes to the board, the five guys that are the board of the DuPont family. And he says, I want to buy the DuPont company on seller finance.
Really?
This has been around for hundreds of years with very intelligent people.
Wow.
Only the people that want to do the burst strategy are the ones that want to sell out their family name. Yep. He comes to the family and he says, I want to buy the company on seller finance and I'll give you guys stock options in the new company I'm going to create, but I want to consolidate this and I want to do it on terms. They create the terms. Okay. I've seen the original contract of this. It's unbelievable. He then, 6 months later, guess what he does, Amelia?
He starts a new business.
He buys the competitor on seller finance that was going to buy out the
No.
DuPont family.
Wow. Gangster.
But there's people out there that are using banks. All I have to do is write things on a piece of paper and gentlemen can agree, and that is called terms. This has been done for hundreds of years. Okay. You ever, oh man, I could go into so many stories about how creative finance has been intertwined into the American like backbone. Go watch the DuPont family and you'll go, dude, what am I doing? This family was willing to give up. It's laziness. This family was willing to give up the entire family's name because they were lazy and they just want to sell out. The guy who had nothing is the guy that had the vision and said, I know 1% more than you guys. I know 1% more than you guys. I'm going to change it. And guess what? DuPont is now top 5 richest families in the entire world. They invented nylon 15 years after that. They invented paint. They owned you know what happened? The American government had to come in and shut down their ownership in General Motors because it was a monopoly. They came in and changed and revolutionized chemicals as far as you could ever know. There's so many chemicals that we use, shampoo, all this stuff, that this family ended up going and inventing because they did not sell out and they did not do the burr strategy. Okay.
Yeah, well, I have one more question. I love that, and I am gonna watch that tonight. And I feel like you are more of an action taker. I mean, there are a lot of like people out here who are like, take my class, take my mastermind, I'll charge you $100,000 and never show up, or I'll charge you 30,000 and I'll be around for like 5 minutes. And
ask my students. Ask my students how much I show up.
I like that. And so I guess my question is, I have like $10,000 liquid cash. What would I like, how could I like get involved? Like how could I
forget that you have it?
What?
You heard me. Forget that you have the money and learn the skill of raising private capital. Forget that you have the money. It's the most valuable skill you'll ever learn. Do not use it. When people, Pace, I got $100,000. What should I do with it? Burn that shit. It's not going to teach you anything.
Okay.
I know that's it. I got to be dramatic. You get my point.
Yeah.
Go put it in the bank. Go lend it out. Go be a lender. Go do transactional lending on it. Do not go and put your own money in stuff. Okay.
Okay.
What I would do is I would say my next deal is not going to be a turd deal. I'm sorry, burr strategy. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. My next deal is not going to be a burr deal. And I commit to never doing another burr deal except for out of necessity. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit myself to meeting Pace's community, and I'm going to go to a meetup and I'm going to buy a deal from one of his students, and I'm going to use one of his other students to bring the private capital to the table. And I'm going to have 50% ownership in a deal that I have no money in the deal. That's the skill you need to acquire.
All right. I would love to do that. So should I just put a post on the free Facebook page? And
yes, sadly, that's the best way for you to do that.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I love it. Thank you. And I'm going to watch the documentary tonight.
No problem. Okay. Now, here's one thing that you'll run into. My community is a tight-knit community, right? They want to help the non-students, but guess what? They identify very quickly. They go, oh, you're not in our culture. You're not in our community. So what you're going to run into, and I get people that DM me, go, hey, Pace, your students are, I reach out to your students. I'm like, did you bring value to them? Well, no, I'm just asking them questions. I'm like, bring them opportunities. Tell them, hey, I'm a buyer. Tell them something that they can do something with. Don't just say, hey, can we sit down for coffee?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying that to you. I'm actually saying to everybody else, right?
Oh.
And a lot of people just go, I can tell you that a lot of the community members just end up working inside the community, which is the reason why it was built. It's a filtering device, right? But we do have free meetups. I travel around the country. If you go to whereispace.com, you can go to the free meetups. Here's the tough thing. You get what you pay for, right? You go to the free meetups and people are like, oh, are you in the community? No, I'm not. Okay, great. You haven't signed the NDA. There's no way I can protect myself from you. Okay, great. I don't know much about you. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Go to the meetups. You'll see how that works. There's like a separation of like, ooh, okay, I'll help you. I'll sell you a deal, blah, 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 blah. It's a great place to get started to know that it's possible for you. Yes, you'll be able to buy deals. but there's a barrier. It's like, oh, how do I get access to them? Go to the free Facebook group, or you can communicate with them right here. There's people right here. My students show up to the free elephant challenge. They'll come in and help you out right now. Do you do meetups in Tucson? Yes, Jessica, I do. I actually have a meetup coming up. I think it's March 4th in Tucson that I will be personally at. Go to whereispace.com and you can see where I will personally show up to. Okay. Angie Milanazzo in Colorado, she says they're doing their meetup. When's your next meetup in CZ? I don't know what that is. Is that Czechoslovakia?
I think they meant CA.
Oh, CA. I'm like, okay, Czechoslovakia. Okay, got it. Okay. Amelia, was that helpful?
Yeah, that was helpful. I guess also I was asking, how do I become part of the community, or what steps would I take, or what would you suggest for that?
Carly can put a link in the side chat if you really want to. I don't ever want to push that. That's something you got to make a decision for. Just
I'm interested.
Carly put a link in the side chat for you to do that. But if you guys want to go to the meetups, here's what happens. This year or last year, I did 110 meetups with my community. They do 150 a month without me. Like, I'm not at the meetups the majority of the time. I went to 110 cities and went to 110 of their meetups. I do that. So if you want to be there when I'm there, then go to whereispace.com. You can come for free. You're welcome to be there. The links are in there. The event breaks are in there. You can come hang out with me. You can meet me, all that kind of stuff. Okay. But if you're like, I need to go on appointments with these people, I need to buy deals with them, I want to go in their offices. It's a different thing, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Jackie Jones, anyone from Raleigh? I was in Raleigh just like 6 months ago. Dang it. I'm so sorry I didn't see you there. We bought a big apartment building there. Okay. Amelia, air hire.
Yeah. Bedelia.
You're in New Hampshire, you said?
No, I'm in Massachusetts.
Dang it. I'm sorry. It's such a freaking cool part of the country. Honestly, like, Boston is truly one of the most magical places ever. How close are you to Boston?
I'm like 2 hours away. I'm closer to Connecticut. I'm in West.
You're up. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like 45 minutes from Vermont, 20 minutes from Connecticut. I know.
Freaking beautiful. Freaking beautiful. You're spoiled. And you guys have great food over there, great culture. Everything's so freaking cool over. It's the best.
Come visit.
I will. We'll probably be back there to hang out with the community. I think we're going to do like a big Halloween thing this year. We're doing like a big golf tournament in November here in Phoenix. And then right after that, I think I'm going October to Boston, not Salem. Like, Salem is just too much. I think we'll probably hang out with Justin. He's in New Hampshire, and we'll have everybody converge. We'll have like 300 or 400 of the students there.
Awesome. I'd love to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia. Appreciate you. Okay. So, everybody has the links, right? Everybody has the purchase and sale agreement. Carly, can you put the purchase and sale agreement and the assignment contract in there one more time? I'm going to give everybody the homework and we're going to disband for the evening. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get everybody on Teams. Okay. What we'll do tonight is everybody that is a Privy client, if you are on the PACE Privy client list, what we'll do is we will send out a link for you guys to join a team so that the community members, so Subto, Gator, Top Tier TC, they can be on teams with you guys. So we can get you guys set up with a little bit more help. And then tomorrow, here's what we're going to do tomorrow. Everybody's submitting offers all day tomorrow. That's what we're doing basically for 4 hours. You're submitting offers. So we showed you today, here's how you talk to an agent. Here's how you build a relationship. How many people, give me some emojis on that agent call I had today. How many deals do you think I would do with that guy long-term the rest of my life now that I know that guy? Well, you can't tell me that in emojis, can you? No. How about I unclick the chat? How many deals, knowing that one conversation with one agent, how many deals do you think I'll do with that guy? 19.1. I like that answer. That's a good answer. Honestly, it's probably in my whole lifetime, it's probably 50. I'd say 50. I'd probably do 2 or 3 a year with him. My team would stay up to date with him. Maybe I'd like plug him in with Molly or Heidi or something. And every time or Bo, I'd probably just share his information with Bo. And every time he had a deal that wasn't selling, we would just buy it subject to. And I'd probably buy one deal from him either per quarter or maybe one per month. If you live forever, infinity. So do you see why people like working with real estate agents? Mm-hmm. And people are going to go, wait, Pace, you criticize real estate agents. Guys, there's so many ways to succeed in this business. I just prefer to go direct to seller is my favorite thing because I love getting to know the seller and their actual problem. The agent blocks me from doing that. And I, as an empath, I feel the need to talk to sellers. So that's something that I love to do. Talking to agents is fun too. Like I love talking to agents that are in the 1%. When they're in the 1%, they're working. Jade, have you ever talked to an agent that you're like, oh my gosh, how did they give you a license?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the agents I don't like, but all the other agents that are like crushing it, I love talking to them. Okay.
But you're also talking about your relationship with them.
Yeah.
You still don't want to talk to them about the deal that you're doing with someone else. You want to talk to the person directly.
Correct. That is a tough thing about it. It's like, can you tell me what's going on with the seller? I can maybe provide a different solution or did it. It's like, no, I'm not going to tell you what's going on with the seller. Like, dang it. All right. Okay. Can I just do it? I'm already an agent. Can I just do expired? Yeah, sure. If you want to do that, I'm not going to train you on that. The Subto community gets trained on that, but we're going to train on agent outreach in here. It's the simplest thing for most people. Cam Cran says Subto AZ meetups on Subto calendar. Yes, actually the Subto meetups are going to be at my office in Arizona starting, I think, in next week again. And we're going to be doing, I think, either 2 a week or 2 a month. I can't remember what it was, but we're going to do a bunch, just FYI. Rima says, is there a cutoff tonight to join Privy? No, I mean, I want you to join a team by tomorrow. So I would just make sure that by tomorrow at 3 o'clock, you guys have been, you get on Privy so that we can put you on a team. Pace, when you come to Austin, Texas, I went to Austin, Texas 4 times last year. I'm not going to be going back. I don't think this year. I'm going to be in Dallas next week or in 3 weeks. Just FYI, I'll be in Dallas speaking. So I'll see you soon. Los Angeles, go to whereispace.com. I am going to Los Angeles, I think next week. So yes, go to whereispace.com and it will show you everywhere I'm going. Okay. Jade.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being in Pace prison with me tonight.
I enjoyed it. I always love being here.
Okay. So guys, here's the homework for the night. Okay. The homework for the night is what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to take the calculator, the one that my wife went through, and the 10 houses that you got yesterday. So take the 10 houses you got yesterday. And what I want you to do is go through comp using Privy. And I want you to come up with what you think your maximum allowable offer is, assuming that you need as a wholesaler to make $20,000 assignment on that deal. Okay. Now, you're going to screw it up. And what you're going to already start doing, I'm not even going to look at the chat right now, but I can already tell you there's people overthinking and saying overthinking questions in the chat right now. This is why putting you on a team tomorrow with more experienced people is going to be super beneficial. Okay. So that's your homework tonight. I want you to try and mess it up with the limited information I just gave you. Okay. I'll do it again. The 10 properties that you saved yesterday, if you weren't here yesterday, then don't say, well, what if I wasn't here yesterday? Well, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. You missed out. Get the 10 properties you found yesterday. Take the calculator that my wife gave you in the side chat. We gave it to everybody. Everybody has it. Don't say you didn't get it. I know you got it. We gave you the link. I saw it pop up 85 times. Then I want you to go through, look at the photos and go, okay, I'm going to go through this line by line and I'm going to come up with what would be my maximum offer on this property. And then tomorrow we're going to be on Teams and we're going to be submitting offers all day tomorrow.
Very cool.
Okay. Somebody says, how much profit? Ooh, how much profit does it make for a flipper? This is a great question. Last question I'll answer is that I think a flipper should be making 10% of the sales price. So if they sell the price for 50,000, I think that they should be making, or I'm sorry, 500,000. You sell a $500,000 home and it takes you 6 months to go through that process. I think you should be able to make $50,000 minimum. That's actually not that much. If you think about it, if you sell the house for 250,000 and you went through 6 months of work and you only made $25,000 for half of a year of your life is really not a lot of money. So 10% is the minimum. Our company shoots for actually 12%. And if we get above that, we're happy. Okay. I see some flippers that won't touch a deal unless they get 20%. I'm like, what? 20%? You sell something for $500,000 and you expect to net $100,000 on every flip. Do we have those? Yes. But that's not the minimum threshold. The minimum threshold should be 10% net. I should walk away after all expenses. Everybody's paid. Everything's done. All my fees, all my things, all my I walk away with 10% of the net of the sales price. Sales price is $340,000. My net should be $34,000. Okay. Did everybody learn some stuff tonight?
Absolutely. I love the value that you provide people. I mean, this is obviously geared toward the free Facebook group, and I think it's amazing. No one else does that kind of thing. And I know you guys probably don't realize the amount of team that it takes to make things like this happen, but it's the people, it's Pace himself, Laura's on here. It's a big deal, and it's just super cool. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Jade. By the way, Jade think about this. Jade took years and years of experience to become who she is in order to join our team. And so what you see and like walking through contracts and how she answers a lot of questions for the Gators, she spends a lot of time with the Gators. Jade took years and years and years and years in order to condense and make really precise and amazing value for everybody. Same thing with my wife. So make sure Jade, what's your DM? What's your Instagram?
The Jade Jarvis.
The Jade Jarvis. Any underscores or anything like that?
Underscore in between each word. Yes.
Okay. The underscore Jade underscore Jarvis.
Yes.
DM her and say thank you. And then my wife, send her a little screenshot, say thank you for coming in here, even while you were breastfeeding. You know, we're trying to provide all the value. And then tomorrow, guys, all we're doing is submitting offers. Okay. So you guys want to see, and what I'll be doing on my side is I'm going to call my 10 agents. Okay. Just like I did today, I'll make 10 calls to agents. Don't call the agents. If I'm showing you phone numbers and agents' numbers, don't be calling them and kind of cut me out of my own deals. I'll call those 10 agents. I'll show you how to set up. Hey, I'm going to send you an offer. Might not be your best offer. Just like the call I had with the agent today said, hey, I might not be your best offer. Let me be your final last resort.
Yep.
Dang. In fact, I should tell people, hey, my name is Pace Morby. I'm calling from Last Resort Investments. I want to be your last resort offer on every one of your. That's so smart. I'm writing that down.
I feel like, yeah.
Last resort. And you just make a brand for yourself. Tell every agent in Atlanta and North Carolina and all these other places, say, I'm your last resort. I'm the person that, it's the ugliest house on the block. You try and do everything else. I'm the person that takes the ugly crap. That's hold on. Last resort. Let me write that down. Okay. Jade Jarvis, shout out Jade Jarvis. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. You're freaking amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me for so long. You did not plan on being with me as long as you did.
I didn't, but it was the best. I love it. I love it here. I love the energy and the excitement and all the value. It's mind-boggling.
Guys, DM her, let her know how much you appreciate her. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you to my Subto students, my Gators, the top tier TC students that are in here. Of course, we're all learning, right? I'm even in her learning. Like I watch my wife, the way she does privy. I'm like, ooh, I'm learning something right now. You will learn something no matter who you are every day in here, which is fun. And even though this is like a really beginning challenge, we're going to do this again in a couple of weeks. Okay. We're going to do this again in a couple of weeks. And then the coolest thing is we're going to start releasing some fun little merit badges to the free Facebook group to encourage you guys to generate more leads and get some traction and some action going. So you can do more deals with the Subto, Gator, and top tier TC community. So we can collaborate a lot more between the two. Okay. Pumped about it. By the way, the semesters I talked about, we're going to do 12-week classes with a badge that you earn at the end, like saying, hey, I earned the safety badge, or hey, I earned the wholesale badge, or whatever the badge is that we'll do for the free Facebook group. We will launch those to the free Facebook group during the next Elephant Challenge. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the next Elephant Challenge coming up in like 2 weeks. Okay. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Arizona time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. California time. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be submitting offers all day tomorrow. How many people want to submit their 10 offers by the end of day tomorrow? Come on. Love it. We got 1,300 people hung with us tonight. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. submitting offers, calling agents,